All right. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Welcome to the show. Today, I have the pleasure of interviewing guitar player for Throat Locust and Switchblade Jesus, and also owner and creator of Frost Giant Electronics, Mr. Eric Calvert. How's it going today, Eric?
Dude, it's going rad. Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here. I've loved everything you do. So just to be able to kind of hang out for a couple of minutes and have some words, that's not at a show because you know how it is at a show. You only got like a couple of seconds. So it's nice to hang out.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you spending some time with me this evening. And you're right, man. Whenever we're at the show, it's usually we're taking care of business. Either I'm playing, you're playing, or we're in show mode where we really don't have too much time to catch up. And I
Yeah.
think tonight's interview is going to be really cool because I haven't had a chance to really dig deep and have a good sit down with you. So I've got a lot of questions I want to cover with you. And Eric, you and I
Let's
go
do it.
back. We've been here a part of the scene easily together for the last decade, at least, if not longer. And
Oh,
we may have done several shows together. I'm sure sharing the stage at one time or another. And I've always been a fan of your stage presence, and I always like the style and the heaviness that you bring. And I really love Switchblade
thank you.
Jesus, and it kind of reminds me a little bit of Clutch and the Melvins and Corrosion of Conformity kind of mixed together. And I love
Mhm.
all those bands. And I got to give a quick shout out at the beginning, man, for such a great job you did on that cover, the Butthole Surfers cover right there.
Thank you.
That was tight, man. I was listening to that. I was like, whoa. And I'd heard it before, but getting refreshed with it, I'm like, God bless, man. That's a badass jam, and you guys did a great job on that, man. Are you a big Butthole Surfers fan, or is this one of those tracks that you're just like, man, this is definitely up my alley. Let's do this one.
I mean, like, as a '90s dude, Butthole Surfers. I mean, Pepper, like, just all of it. Like,
Yeah.
I think we all kind of grew up. Like, even if we're maybe 4 or 5 years, or even 6, 7 years apart, we all kind of grew up around that same kind of that intro of the '80s, '90s, 2000s, and Butthole Surfers were just one of those bands that when they came on MTV, it was the most wild, random thing that you ever saw. So I think just their eclectic, just style growing up just always stuck with me. So when we talked about doing a cover, I mean, everybody does the same. So we decided, let's do a Texas band. And I'm like, fuck it, let's do Butthole Surfers. And everyone's like, yeah, we have to do it. And so we recorded it up and threw it up, and I'm really happy with it. It came out really well. It's the song, but it kind of feels like us in a way. So I mean, I think it went pretty well.
It went really well. I love your rendition of it, and I feel like it's right in your lane, and a great song choice to do as a cover and put out as a single, man. Great job.
Thank you,
I love your vocals,
thank
man.
you,
You
thank you.
come off mean, man. You have some really mean vocals, and me being a vocalist, that's what attracts me to your bands. And I know you're not doing vocals for Throat Locust, but are you doing backup vocals? I kind of missed that if you had.
We we talked about it, but at the time, I didn't know exactly what Gil had down, and I didn't want to just kind of throw some random nonsense on top.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm going to be doing some background vocals. I know Alex wants to do some background vocals as well, just to add some more layers to it. I
Yeah.
mean, my vocal kind of growth was early Sepultura, just yell and scream and try not
Wow.
to, yeah, not try not to burst your throat. And I don't sound like him. Never will. But that shows he's always been, Max has always been my vocal kind of messiah in a way. I've always loved his raw, hardcore, thrashy, but guttural.
Yeah.
I've always loved his vocals. I always have since. I mean, the first time, because I mean, like I said, '90s. The first time I heard Arise, I didn't get to hear, all the old good ones like, oh shoot,
Beneath the
oh,
Remains and
Beneath the
Schizophrenia.
Remains for sure. That's the one.
Yeah.
Schizophrenia. I love Schizophrenia.
Yes, sir.
I
That's a ripper.
love Schizophrenia. So Arise, and then into all the other ones up to Blood Rooted and Roots and all that kind of stuff. It was always his style, so that's where my kind of kind of kind of thing came from in a way.
Right.
Was just growing up to that, hearing that. I felt it kind of felt, it fit Switchblade pretty well, and it worked
Yeah.
pretty decent, I have to say.
I'm telling you, it's a good fit, man. You with that inspiration that you took from Max and making it your own right there gives you a fucking awesome, unique sound
Thank you.
and style for Switchblade Jesus, and I dig it. That's tight.
No, coming from you, but that's a huge thing because I've always respected your vocals. And anytime I'm like, oh shit, you're singing. All right, I'm good. I'm happy. Yeah. So thank you so much, man. That means a lot. That really does.
And I appreciate that too, Eric. That means a lot. We're both grinders, and we both like to. We both have a passion for what we do, and especially what we do on stage and original music.
Mhm.
And anytime we have a chance to do some covers, it just the love of the music. It's just
Oh, it's
something that
fun.
me and you just have in common.
Oh yeah, same here, dude. Yeah, and it doesn't matter what it is. It can be from people look at me weird. It can be from like singer songwriter country to
Yeah,
Etta James to everything, like anything and everything. Like I want to hear it, I want to play it, I just want to be it in a way. I don't
yeah.
know, man. Just music is fun, dude. It really is.
Absolutely. It really is. You want to produce it. You want to help, get other bands together. You want to start new
Yeah.
projects. It's
Yeah.
it's never ending, and there's so much to do. And there's always an avenue for somebody that just loves music. It doesn't have to be. You don't have to be the musician. You could be somebody behind the production, or maybe
I love doing that.
yeah. I haven't really got a knack for it, but I'm trying to pick up what I can as I go.
Mhm.
But I can tell you getting started with your with Frost Giant Electronics. Have you been
Thank
like
you.
an electronics? Kind of you always been tinkering in the garage or trying to put together things, and that's how this electronic company came together.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, as a kid, I was kind of like, we didn't, I mean, you don't grow up with a lot of money at times. So my dad always like, he raced motorcycles. So he would take them apart, put them back together, take them apart, put them back together. And we did that with the guitars. And we
Yeah,
would take them apart, put them back together, take them apart, put them back together. He saw Van Halen's guitar. So he striped it up. And then I think
yeah.
one year we pulled it apart and painted it yellow because of, I don't know who, probably Jake Lee or somebody. And so
Okay.
like it was always just that's how he was. And it was just always us like make and do what we had in a way. And so with Frost Giant actually started as a shirt company, and I was making bootleg shirts in a way. And it wasn't really
Yeah,
anything that you would buy online, but it was like Lemmy with his amps in the background
yeah,
or a guitar pedal in the schematics. So it was something kind of a little different.
yeah.
And then it ran into a point where Switchblade was playing a lot more, and I was breaking pedals because I stomped like an idiot, and I broke my rat pedal. And so I decided to, like, I need to fix it, right? So I really don't know what I'm doing. This was like maybe 7 years ago. He's like, I really don't know what I'm doing. Let me just order another one. Ordered it. I was like, wow, this thing sounds different from mine. Let me fix mine. And then I'm like, wow, they really sound different. Why? And I think it was that why that made me want to understand electronics more and
Yeah.
figure out why this does this and that does that, and why can I make this into this. And I just started making pedals for myself. And some online dudes asked, if I was ever going to sell them. And I really wasn't, kind of planning on it because I was kind of doing shirts.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, man, I'll sell a few. And a few turned into that. And then it just kind of rolled from that. And it was just me, like, I was working as a graphic designer at Marlin Embroidery. And I was doing like all the,
Okay.
like the fire cancer. If you've seen like the pink cancer awareness shirts
Yeah.
from 2010 to 2015, those are all mine.
Wow. Okay.
And so
Great.
I was doing a lot of the art and working during the day, and then I'd come home at night and build pedals, and then just doing that until I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to build pedals, see if I
Yeah.
can do it.
Right.
And I took a chance on myself, and I have to say, taking a chance on yourself can be a scary but good thing at times. And I'm here making guitar pedals now. I don't know. It's weird. I love it. I don't understand it at times, to be honest with
Yeah.
you. You know, they're 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 in dealers all over the world, and I got Premier Guitars Gold Award for one of my pedals, and it's just the most
Wow.
random thing in the world. Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, it's the most random thing in the world, and like I'm like, all right, cool. This is what I do now. Fuck
That's
yes.
right. This is what you're
Okay.
doing now. Wow. That's amazing,
But
man.
I mean, I get.
Now I was gonna say that's just really amazing. You being an entrepreneur and taking a shot on yourself, and you digging deep and figuring out the electronics to your own gear, and saying, you know what, and I can do this. And next thing you know, you got your friends kind of buying into the same idea, and one
Mhm.
thing leads to another. And now, how many pedals do you think you've already put out there so far?
I would say it's got to be over five, close to 6,000 right
Damn,
now.
that's
Yeah, yeah,
amazing! Wow, and
yeah,
you're building that in, there at your home, or you have a
yeah.
place of
That's
business?
no, at my home, it's just
Yeah.
me uh, building pedals. Like before I talked to you, I was drilling guitar enclosures. I'd show you the one I'm drilling, but it's a new pedal drop, and I can't really show anybody yet. The
Okay.
distributor will be mad.
All
But
right.
like, here's the back of it, and so you can see the back of it. And so yeah, I have. Yeah, it's just me drilling them at my house. I put them together. I do the design work. If there's a sometimes electronics is a black magic. Sometimes there's stuff that I just can't figure out, and sometimes stuff
Okay.
that other people just can't figure out. So I got a buddy that will sit down and go back and forth and troubleshoot and try this, no that. Okay, let's just set it on
Awesome.
fire and start all over.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so he's about the only guy. But besides that, it's just me drilling these cases, putting them together, building them, and sending them out into the world, and just saying, "Let's do this.
Let's do this. Right. Have
Let's do this."
Have you taken it to the point where you're endorsing anybody yet?
Mhm. I have like Matt Pike from High on Fire uses mine. Wind Hand, Slowmatics. I have a an artist pedal of a very large death metal band that I'm not allowed to say just yet, but they're on
Wow.
tour in Europe, and that's pretty much the only thing I can say. So y'all would have
Okay.
to figure out what band that is.
Yeah.
And
All right.
so I got those going. Uh, yeah, I mean,
How exciting,
a
man.
lot of
How
well,
many
a lot of a lot of what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, how many pedals do you have? How many different products? I was kind of browsing through your website, and fuzzworship.com, right?
Yeah,
Yes, man. It's a very, very awesome
yeah.
website, man. And so how many different products you have up there?
I'd say I have one, two, three, four, five, six, 7 or 8 pedals. I
Wow.
have 20 shirts, and I also do custom knobs. And so I make
Yeah.
custom clear and different things for guitars and guitar amps and stuff like that too. Because I also make toys. I also have a toy company.
What?
Randomness.
What kind
I
of
know.
toys?
Yeah. I make there's these little things called monsters in my pocket back in the day,
Yeah.
and they're just these little rubber toys. So I make those, and I make Star Wars figures, and I got one hanging on the wall somewhere. But yeah, I make Star Wars figures too. Yeah, it's the most
Dude,
random thing.
that is badass. And are they for sale too, the figures?
Yeah, yeah, you can go on. It's called Lazy Sunday Designs (LSD). It's Lazy Sunday Designs on Etsy, and yeah, you can find. I also do
Lazy Sunday
three
Designs.
D. Yeah, also do it. Hopefully I updated it or I paid my bill. Sometimes if like they'll hold your account if you haven't paid your $1.59
Oh shit.
subscription. Yeah, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm sorry, it's $1.59. I apologize.
Oops, right?
But I'll do right. I know. I do digital sculpting, and I have a 3D printer, and so I'll do the digital sculpting and a bunch of different things, print it out, and I'll airbrush them. So it's cool, fun stuff. Just a
Very
bunch of
cool
things.
stuff, man. I'm
Thank you.
jealous. I'm jealous because you've made things that you love into your craft, and you're able to
Mm,
capitalize on it, and you don't have to have a day job like someone like myself. Uh,
yeah.
that is so
No,
awesome,
I know.
man.
No, it's a huge, huge, huge blessing, honestly, because
Yeah,
I got a lot of buddies that try to do pedals or try to do this and try to do that, and it's hard, man. Dude, it is hard out there. And I mean, to be fortunate that people like my stuff, not only to purchase it but to tell other people and request it at dealers and this and that is an insane blessing because
yeah,
like I don't understand it, man. I really don't. Like, I don't know. I don't know how I became a pedal builder. I was just a dude trying to fix my pedals because they kept breaking on me because I kept stomping on them. And
Yeah.
like, I have a bad habit of turning a hobby into a business, and I don't know how to stop it. Like right now, me and my
Yeah.
brother-in-law, we're building a '96 Harley because I got an Evo. I rebuilt the done. We rebuilt the motor, rebuilt the carbs. We were doing everything, uh,
Damn.
doing the tank. Yeah, yeah. So rebuilt it from the ground up. Started it with a Paco frame and its '96 Evo and a 6-speed train. No, 5-speed. Sorry, 5-speed train. So the issue is, I'm like, I can make custom knot or custom grips and air cleaners and all that stuff to sell. And my wife's like, can you stop? Can you just like not try to make a business out of something for once? I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I know. Because it takes up my everything. I
Yeah.
I get like into it, and I put everything I got into it, from time, money, energy, religious list, everything, man. It's wild. I have a problem at times.
Everything and anything it takes, right?
Really, it really is, man.
Man, that is so amazing, man. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, bud.
You're actually living the dream, and I think you have carried over that same kind of mentality into what you're doing right now with Throat Locust. I feel, because you guys have just been the next big thing right here in town, and as far as all over, getting all over social media, hitting Slipknot's playlist, and really fucking stirring shit up, and well
Thank you,
deserved too, man. The
thank you.
drag through glass demo, that demo fucking crushes, dude.
Thanks, bud.
It kicks ass, man. I've always been a big fan of Gilbert, and I loved his band, Desecrated Remains. I had him play one of my birthday parties,
Yes,
and the guy's a grinder too. He's a great vocalist, man. You picked a great guy, and
I was very, 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 very fortunate he was not in 12 other bands when we started talking about
yeah,
this project, because, dude, Gil is like one of the most talented musicians I've ever met.
yeah,
Like, he, from not just instrument wise, but just the thinking of how he approaches things. He's always trying to either improve or trying to, like, hey, you didn't think about this, why don't we try that? Like, it's just a really, really amazing individual, and we're very fortunate that he wasn't in 12 other bands when
I'm
we talked
telling you.
about this project.
Yeah, right. Man, awesome
Oh
front
man.
man. I love the vocals, and
Yeah.
you, I'm gonna kind of touch on definitely getting back to Throat Locust, but let me get started because I'm with hitting some of your roots, man. Who gets you started, or what band got you inspired to pick up the guitar and start shredding?
Just Pantera all day long,
Yeah.
all day long.
Holy
Well, I mean,
shit.
like, so,
Yeah.
well, so, like, like I said, I'm a '90s, '80s kid.
That's
So, like, I
right.
grew up.
That's for
Well, I grew up stealing my dad's Cliff 'Em All VHS, and it's in the
awesome.
heavy metal, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, he's pissed because his buddy's asking for the tape, and I'm like, I don't know where it is. I'm like 12, 11, something like that.
You're
My
not giving
parents
it
split
up.
up. Oh, dude, no way. So my parents split up, and I'm like, well, I need to get my metal on still, because my dad, like, when they were together, he went to the first time Pantera came here in '95 with the
Yeah.
Far Beyond Driven tour. He
Right.
came back. He's like, this is the most insane thing I've ever seen. And he's done Priest and Maiden, all that kind of nonsense. Because '80s, '70s,
Yeah.
he's an older dude. And so I when they split, like, we would go kind of hang out because the weekend visitation things, right?
Yeah.
And his buddy lent him a copy of Cliff 'Em All and heavy metal. Dude, I snagged that thing so fast.
Yeah.
Dude, I snagged that so fast. And so I got Cliff 'Em All playing on at the house. I I I'm pretending I'm like Hetfield, right? And
Yes.
so I got the broom and I'm just like jamming out like the best I can, like just like wanting to be this dude. And then the Vulgar videos came out. And then when the Vulgar videos came out, that was it for me. That
Yeah.
was it. And so me and my buddies, like, in high school, that was our band. It was, Pantera, Megadeth, Slayer, the beginnings of Lamb of God, but like I also listened to
Yeah.
Brutal Truth, Vision of Disorder. I listened to a lot of hardcore stuff too. And they, some of them did like they listened to like some Earth Crisis kind of stuff, but I was
Oh
big on
yeah, yeah,
Victory.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean
New York.
they're some. Yeah, and so like it was a cool mix as a kid. I had that thrash, I had that hardcore, and then and then Pantera was king. And so, yeah, that was it, man. Like watching those videos and just watching them play in Russia and just the crowd, the black and white one, the one that everybody knows for Domination.
Yes.
Everybody's seen it. When you're 12 and you see that thing for the first, when you're 18, 19, you see that thing for the first, and it's just like, what is this? I
Yeah.
need to do something similar
I
at
want
least
some of
because
that. Yeah.
you can't be Pantera. Yeah, like you can't. You're not gonna be Pantera as a kid, but like you're like this is amazing. This is what I want. And so like since then, like my goal has always been to play in Europe and just play a large festival just once. And that was with this band. I was like, I want to start something that I can have fun with, that everybody will enjoy, and something that we can play Hellfest. Like I want to play Hellfest. Don't
Yes.
know how, but I want to play
No,
Hellfest.
you're on the right track, man. The demo you guys have already dropped is definitely something that would cause interest. You just need you need some more material so that way you can at
Oh,
least
I know.
eat up a good 30-minute set right there. But yes, you
Oh,
can
I
get
know.
there, man. I believe in you, man.
Thank you.
You've not only
Thank
got
you.
the talent, but I think, like you say, man, you have the drive and your work ethic and all the products that you've already put up right there just show that if you put your mind to it, you're gonna make it happen. And you're gonna be successful at what you're doing because you put a lot of pride and know-how into getting it done right. So
It's a drive.
it
It's a
is,
drive. It's a grind.
it
I
is,
mean,
dude, for
you know
sure.
how it is. I mean, I think a lot of Corpus bands know how it is because we've all just put everything into it. We've tried different things.
Yeah,
We've got with different people where, and it's not just like, it's not like just trying to be like recorded, signed, or anything like that. It's trying to make good music that you respect, that everybody respects, and that you play a show and you see people lose their mind in front of you. Like that's it for me. Like that's the goal,
that's
is
the
to make
payday
something
right
rad
there.
that, you know what I mean? Like that everybody's like, that was the most rad thing I've ever seen or ever heard. I'm like, yeah, that's right, bud. That's right, it
Yes,
was.
feels
You know what
great.
I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
man.
it's
It's
it that
and until you felt it before, you don't know what you're missing. And after you've had it, you're just like you and I, where you're just like, yeah, I'm ready to do it again. Let's book another one.
yeah.
Make
Yeah,
it
I
make a
don't care
life
if
out of
it's
you. Make a a whole it's already a lifestyle, but make it a
yeah.
full on career where you're going around the
Oh
world,
yeah.
hitting festivals every summer, and then hitting
Dude,
everything else here in the States. It's gonna happen, man. You just keep it up.
I
If it's not
hope.
with Switchblade Jesus, it's gonna be with Throat Locust, and God willing, with both of them, because I think
That'd be wild.
I'm telling you, right? Wouldn't it be awesome, man? You'd be,
That would be
these
wild.
festivals have like 4 or 5 stages, and you got Switchblade on one stage at one time, and then an hour later you're playing with Throat Locust at another stage, because
Good with that.
there exactly right. The genres
Good
are
with
different,
that.
so you can mix it up with different stages like that, and
Yeah.
that's very cool that you get to release that love for death metal, and then what you have going on in your own baby with Switchblade Jesus right
Oh,
there, and
yes.
it's very fulfilling, isn't it?
It is. I mean, Switchblade was always going to be my love. Like that was our starting point back into music. Not only for me but for a lot of my friends. And the nice thing about it is now I can really focus on making Switchblade. Like it was in that clutchish, uh, you know, stoner doom metal is what they call it. That Black Sabbath kind of groove.
Yeah.
Because at times, like I want to, and I'm telling, like we're writing songs with Switchblade, right? And so like we practice, we write a song, we practice, we write a song. It's pretty, we pretty have it, set down, and like not really write a song, but we'll get the skeletons and take it home and we'll rebuild it and come back.
Yeah.
And so John sent me stuff. He's like, dude, this is too fast. I was like, yeah, I know. He's like, I know you like thrash, and he grew up thrash, and he grew up deaf. Everybody, Chris, our bassist, he's death metal, like Burzum,
Wow. Hell
anything that
yeah.
was recorded in the middle of a room on a tape
Yeah.
just sounds like garbage. That's what he loves. And so,
Underground.
and he's a
Yeah.
very big underground dude, so underground.
Yeah.
And he's a very big progressive player too. So his styles are very out there. So like we have to kind of really focus on what we're writing on, or we can write some really out there stuff. Like
Yeah.
the recent stuff that we kind of wrote is kind of converge-ish. It's got some noise metal into it, some weird stops. It's got a salsa beat in it.
Shit.
It's weird and amazing. Like everything
Yeah.
fits great. So it's nice to be able to go back into that thinking and go back into Switchblade and make it that kind of overall heavy rock, stoner metal, wherever the heck it is, and not write too much fast stuff and create some kind of weirdness with the band. And I can't really focus it down. Like now it's like stoner death doom thrash, like that doesn't work. So now with throat locust, like I can
Yeah.
separate my riffs a little bit better because
Yeah.
like I'll be in my thrash mode or I'll be in my Black Sabbath mode, and now I can like, okay, this is going to go here, this one's going to go here, send it to the guys, and I do the same thing. I write a couple of things, send it to whoever, we bounce it back and forth, kind of decide on what we're going to go with, and then build from there. So I'm not like sending Switchblade just all Slayer shit.
Yeah. Right.
Like, all right, yeah, this is what we're doing now. We're all doing Slayer now.
Right.
Undisputed Attitude. That's all we're doing now.
Yeah, with your roots, with Pantera and Slayer, all being right there and being great motivators to you, it's awesome that now you have that throat locust right there, so that way you can put out all everything that you don't, the other heavy stuff that you have that isn't
Yeah,
quite switchblade-ish, and you're lucky, man, that you got that.
very lucky.
And to be surrounded by all the band members that you got in that group. Got a great thing going on. Well, let me
I
go to
do.
my
I'm
next
very
question.
fortunate.
I got to ask you, who are your three favorite guitar players?
Oh, that's cold, man.
Why
Oh,
you
that
got to
one
make you got
hurts.
to pick four? I'll get you pick four.
No, no. I'll pick three. No, I'll pick three.
Give me
I got to do
three.
it proper. I mean, I got to do it proper. I got Dimebag.
Yeah.
I got Jakey Lee.
Whoa.
Yes, I fucking love Jakey Lee.
I love Jakey Lee.
They throw. I got see. I can't. I mean, I can throw Chuck from Death because he's just an amazing songwriter in general.
Yes.
Let me. I'm gonna throw a curveball just because I love this band. Jay from White Zombie.
Wow, that is a curveball.
I because I like his wah and whammy bar phrasing when
Wow.
especially when Rob Zombie does his weird kind of like wah, 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 wah. He's always just on time and just makes it sound great. Who else? Man, there's so many good musicians out here.
Yeah. Hey.
Everybody in Corpus. Everybody in Corpus is the greatest guitarist in the world. I love everybody in Corpus. Man, yeah, I'm gonna stick with those randoms
I
because
love
nobody else. Oh,
those.
Marty Freeman.
Marty.
Marty Freeman.
Yeah.
There we go.
I'm
I
telling you.
can't. Alex will be mad that I did not mention Marty Freeman. He grew up with Megadeth, and he's like, the whole reason I play is because of Megadeth. I'm like, all right, let's fucking do some Megadeth.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah, I got to throw him in.
Kick ass. Great choices, man. And I've been a big fan of Jakey Lee for forever. Of course, Dimebag, and Jay, man, he really White Zombie changed shit. They became another piece of metal culture in America. And Rob Zombie is he's like a fucking another Joey Ramone, like another fucking um,
Oh yeah,
what's his name fucking from the Sex Pistols, Johnny Rodden. He's he's
yeah,
an innovator. He's a game
really is.
changer. uh,
It really is.
it really
I
is,
mean,
man.
the imagery with White Zombie, from Lost Exorcisto,
Yeah.
even Astro Creep, like it was just. I mean, everybody used patches and cues from movies and stuff like that, but he didn't do it cheesy. And I'm not saying bands have done it cheesy. I mean, some have, but like
They overdid it.
everything really flowed. Yeah, I did. I know I did it cheesy. We got patches with Switchblade. I'm like, that's cool. It works.
It works.
And so
It does. Fuck
it
yeah.
works. Yeah, fuck it, right. And so, but everything with like Lost Exorcisto, it just it's just clean. Like you
Yeah.
can listen to it straight and then right into the bow, wow, bow, 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 and then it goes into the Mexican radio station, and then like you can hear him change the dials, and then it gets real gritty, and then it picks up. Yeah, like he was great thinking that because he made you feel, he immersed you in that, and he's actually one of the reasons why I like writing. When we write, like when I write an album, I try to write a story in a way, a beginning and an end, because I really love the build up into, like with Death Hymns has a beginning and an end. Like I like the build up into it, a very high build. Halfway through, you do a small little bend into it to kind of give the listeners a chill. Hit it with a heavy, and then you roll it off. That's how I like to write. And so I've always liked that writing of White Zombie because it puts you in there and you felt that you were either in the movie, you're sitting, in a car watching it, just how he does his weird driving kind of situations. So yeah, that's why I threw Jay in there, because he really kind of brought that band, because there was, people don't know the White Zombie before Los Exorcisto. Like if you
Right.
listen to it, it is rough.
Yeah, it is
It is
rough. That's right. That very
it
first
was
one, White
rough.
Zombie. Yep.
Yeah, it was
So
rough.
they
So when he came in,
that
he threw the
production.
band, in my opinion. Yeah, the production was rough. That was rough. That was black metal and sweet and rough.
Yeah. But did you get a chance to catch? Have you seen Jay perform live? Did you catch him?
Yeah, no, I didn't get to catch him perform live. So I'm one of those guys that knows random people. I've talked with Jay before. We've talked back and
Wow.
forth, and so because
Cool.
it was on a guitar forum, and we started talking about guitar amps, and then we swapped emails, and then swapped everything else, and we've just been talking back and forth. And I told him, I was like, yeah, I never had the chance to see you live, because when y'all came down to Corpus, dude, it was like my first show was Ozzy, Typo Negative, and Sepultura.
Yeah, I was there.
That, I think it was like 94, 95, something like that.
Yeah.
And then right after that was White Zombie. I had no money. I didn't really know who White Zombie was at that time. I was like,
Okay.
Ozzy, yes. You know what I mean? And it was Sepultura. So I'm like, I'm going
Hell
in
yeah.
hard. And so I went in hard on that. And so I didn't get to see a lot of bands after that. And I think White Zombie was one of them. And yeah, so I was talking back and forth, and I was like, I really, really wish I got to see y'all play live. He's like, we suck live. I was like, okay,
How funny.
all right,
Yeah.
all right.
Oh shit. Yeah, I made it to both of those ones right there, and White Zombie was the last show to ever go down there at Texas Sky here in Corpus.
Yeah.
And Rob Zombie knew it was the last show, so he intentionally played a few extra songs, and they kicked ass, man. When Corpus
Oh,
loves
I
White
bet.
Zombie, and now
Yeah.
when Rob comes on his own, we always share the love, and I just think Corpus has so many horror movie fans and so many heavy metal fans that
Mm.
Rob Zombie just is just beloved here. So
It's weird that, like, back in, well, I could say, like, Texas Sky, Johnnyland days, like we had a lot of bands that came down here,
yeah,
and then Concrete opened up, and we had a decent amount. But it's weird that some larger bands still pass Corpus. But man, if you come to Corpus, dude, you're gonna have one of the best crowds ever. Like every like in high school, we would go watch Pantera. We would go to like Dallas or Houston or wherever we
yeah,
were. Anytime they came here, it was the most insane. Well, the 3 times I saw them here, it was the most insane time that they ever played.
hell yeah,
I remember it was when Rob Zombie and Butthole Surfer, no, Monster Magnet came down here. It
yeah,
was wild.
hell
And
yeah.
so, like, I don't understand why some larger bands pass Corpus and just either pass us by. We have some of the best fans, best people, best everything in this town. We really do.
We
I mean,
really do.
if I,
They're missing out,
if
but
it really
some
is.
bands, like Pantera, when they were out in the circuit, they never passed up Corpus. They always gave
No,
Corpus love. And
yeah.
you probably already came across how Pantera dropped their dates with Lamb of God, that they're going to be going on tour next year. And I was
Hmm.
disappointed that Corpus wasn't on the hit list. And
Same,
oh man, so
same.
we're getting the off dates after the Metallica show, and Houston's on the hit list, so is Austin. Dallas is where they're going to be playing with Metallica, and it looks like
Mhm.
I'm going to go to Austin to go check it out over there and catch them on a Sunday night. Have you already thought about what show you're going to make it to, or have you already got tickets to the Metallica gig?
We got tickets to the Metallica one.
Hey,
The
yeah.
only reason is because my buddy he has a City card, and
Oh
City
shit,
card
yeah.
they did the pre-sales.
Pre-sale.
And dude, the tickets were like $200. He's like, hey man, tickets for both nights are $200 through City. You want to do it? I'm like, yeah,
Hell yeah.
I was like, I'll get you the cash when I can. Don't worry about it. He's like, okay, cool. So we got it set up. I set up the cash. And then I got the email about
Wow.
the tour coming up. I was like, dude, what do you want to do? He's all, did you want to go to all of them? I'm like, I can't afford that, man. He's like, well, let's do, we could do the Austin one, or we could trade the Austin tickets in and do like Houston or the San or the Austin, or trade the Arlington tickets in and do the Austin and another one, because it would be the same price. I'm like, man, I don't know, because I'm just there to see Pantera. I'm there to see Pantera. When you were talking about artists, actually, one of my artists is the guitarist for Mammoth WVH, Wolfgang Van Halen.
Wow. Oh
Mammoth
shit.
Mammoth.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jordan the guitarist is he uses a couple of my pedals live, and it's amazing to have my pedals on the same stage with Wolfgang. It is the most insane thing
It
ever.
is
So I told
awesome.
him, well, they're opening for the
Yeah.
Pantera,
And
and I was like,
Metallica.
hey,
Yes.
yeah, I was like, oh, Metallica, gotta love Metallica. And I don't care what anybody says, Metallica is still Metallica to me. From
Yeah.
the day I was born, it's still Metallica.
Fuck yeah.
So dude, and I was like, you think you can get us in a sound check? He's like, no. I was like, all right, cool. I was like, I had to ask.
Had
He's
to
like,
ask,
yeah,
that's
like
right.
it's like, yeah. I was like, dude, everything is so tied up with, or tight lipped, and with security, with COVID and all that kind of stuff, because COVID's still a thing.
Yeah.
He's like, they don't let, random people just kind of hang out. It's just how it
Like
is.
the
I was like,
old
hey,
days,
that's
yeah.
cool. Yeah, like at Craig's Record Factory, standing outside, trying to shake hands with an artist, because you're skipping work or skipping school.
Yeah.
Oh, Craig's Record Factory.
Oh man.
God, I love that.
So that makes me want to think. So is your dad a headbanger?
Yeah,
Yeah. Does he play
yeah,
an instrument as well?
yeah. He's the one that got me on guitar. Well, he was always. I mean, he was always 90s metal, Priest, and all that kind of stuff. And then my mom listens to like Whitesnake
Yeah.
and White Lion and all
Right.
that. You know what I mean? Skid Row and all that kind of
For
stuff. Yeah,
sure.
dude. I am 100% an 80s kid,
I love
and I
all
was
of that.
born. Dude, I was born out of spandex and zebra print guitars, like
Badass.
straight up.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah. He's definitely the one that got me into it, and I love him to death for that.
That is
It's great.
so cool, man. And my dad was a cop, and he worked all the time, man. But he was really a great mentor on showing me how to be a great provider and how to take care of business and always being there for the family. And
Yeah.
I, I'm I'm jealous that your old man was the one that kind of brought you into that stuff, because I kind of had to do it the hard way. And geez, I guess I stumbled upon Kiss when I was 7,
Mm,
and it must I'm trying to think, did I actually I think that I just probably saw their album, and I just got me
yes.
interested right there. It might have been Love Gun that got me into it at first. And next thing you know, I just Gene Simmons is pretty much my idol. Just wanting to be
Oh
able
yeah.
to breathe, blow fire and spit out blood and dress up like a demon and fucking play bass and rage in front of thousands of people was
Yes.
was a driving force for me wanting to start a music career. And I know what you mean by seeing Pantera over there on the Live in Moscow in those vulgar videos,
Yes.
dudes. How inspiring it is, and seeing them fucking just go ape shit on stage, and the presence that Pantera brought was something that really always drives me crazy. It makes me a lover of them, and that's why I do the tribute thing, man, because they're one of my favorite bands,
Right.
and them being from Texas and me being from Texas, it just everything kind of just clicks. And God bless their Abbott brothers, and things aren't going to ever be the same without them. But I tell you, if what we've seen so far from those videos of the performances that the bands put together, I'm so proud of everything that Charlie Benante and Zach has brought to the table, and seeing Phil and Rex back in fucking going hard, and the stage production just going like Pantera used to throw down in the old days. It's just so it's a breath of fresh air, but it's such it really fires me up as a metalhead that we got these
Hmm.
great shows to look forward to, man. And the shows are going to be packed, so I encourage everybody to buy your tickets early because they're going to fucking sell out. They are going to sell out
Oh
quick.
yeah.
So
Oh yeah, especially in Texas. Yeah,
right?
Texas, they're gonna be. Yeah, Texas is gonna be just completely ridiculous, completely ridiculous. So yeah, if you don't get your tickets within like the next 3 days, I highly doubt you're gonna be able to grab anything. I at first, I'll be one of those guys. When I heard about the reunion, I was kind of like, what's gonna go down? How
Yeah.
are they gonna pull this off? And me and my buddies, the ones that were going to the Metallica, what's called Megadeth. I love Megadeth. Sorry. So with the one we were going to the Metallica show, he's like, I'm not going to listen to the YouTube clips. I was like, you're not going to listen to any of it? He's like, no, man, I'm not going to listen to it. What are you going to do? I was like, well, I guess I'm not going to listen to it as well. And he's like, all right, we're going to just like high school, when you like that first feeling and that first time and just that first moment you get, that's what I'm after. I did watch some of it because
It's so hard. I
couldn't
can't
help.
imagine not hitting it. Wow.
I could not. So we're going through YouTube and I'm seeing the clips. I was like, all right, man, I'm looking around. I was like, he's not here. He won't know. So I threw it on for a couple of seconds and it was the great, the intro to Cowboys from Hell was like the biggest smile I've ever had in like a good minute. Like when you hear that and it's just like that feeling, that tone. And I hate saying like, this is my band, but like, this is that band that makes me feel like a lot of music makes me feel, but this is that band that makes me feel. And so I guess it's the youth part of it growing up. And the nostalgia, and it just fucking rule.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm really excited for these next shows. It's something that I'm really happy that other metalheads, under the age of 20, under the age of under the age of 30. I don't even know how old I am anymore.
Something like
under
that,
the
right?
age of something like that. Under the age. You know what I mean? They didn't get to experience it. They didn't get to see the mayhem that Pantera was. And it was just this. It was, I don't know, like I joke with people like for music there was like before and after Pantera. That's just how I've always felt.
Yeah, it's like AD and BC, right? Shit.
Yeah. And I know all these other bands were a band before, but like after Pantera you have, Lamb of God and Children of Bottom and like all these others just ripping groove, thrash, hardcore metal bands, just like, oh, okay, you guys let it. Let's just kind of follow and see if we can build off your steam. And all these great bands just came out of it. Like I feel, Gojira is a school of that. Like Gojira is one of my favorite bands.
Big time.
And they have, dude. And so they have that running, pummeling style, just that groove, heavy. I don't know. It's hard to really put a grasp on the type of music metal it is or genre.
Yeah.
It's just that feeling, and Gojira gives it to me.
They get it right.
Gives it to me big time.
They get it right.
They
man.
do.
Fuck yeah.
They don't have the wild, crazy solos, but they still have the whammy, the wham, wham. So I feel it works.
Yes.
They still pull it in.
Gojira is one of those bands that when I'm hearing stuff on my playlist or Spotify makes a playlist for me, and I'm taking a bike ride or something, or I'm doing some cardio, and it comes up, I'm like, man, that sounds like Gojira, man, because it's kind of off the wall and it's not, it doesn't sound like anybody else. So I put it out and I'm like, fuck yeah, it is Gojira. And
yes,
they're unique. The heaviness of them and the vocals and the way they put everything together, man. They're one of the best bands that's out there right now.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think we have tickets for the Mastodon Gojira, Lorna Shore.
Oh, shit,
people are gonna talk some shit on that. Yeah, Lorna Shore is amazing.
So
I was getting my buddy, because he's he's from the school of old school. He likes, the American Head Charge and Dry Kill Logic, and
Okay.
those are the
Those
bands.
are good
Yeah, those
ones.
are the bands that those are good ones, and
Yes.
that's what he really loves. And I was like, hey, check out this is going to be the band with it. He's all, damn, dude, this is cool. This isn't what I like, but I think I can get into it. I was like, just give it a minute,
Right.
let it gel on you, play it a couple of times, come back to it. So yeah, it's going to be a fun show. I'm excited. I think we're going to the Austin one.
Oof.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like
I'm
a
excited, dude.
hell of
It's
a package right there.
ridiculous.
That's awesome. Love all those
Dude,
three bands. Yes.
so much. I really hope Mastodon. Did you go to Ghost when they came here?
I missed it. I
It's
missed out.
okay. We got kicked out of Ghost. You can't
Shit.
mosh during Ghost. Yeah, we got kicked out right after Mastodon, or me and Brian did.
Why?
And so you can't mosh during Ghost. Ghost, if no matter what the opening band is, no matter if it's them, whatever it is, you cannot mosh during a Ghost concert. They stop it, they'll kick you out. So they stopped us. They kicked us out.
Wow.
Yeah, because he was going crazy during Spirit Box,
Okay.
and he really loves Spirit Box. It's a
Sure.
great
Yeah, they're
band,
badass.
doing great. Yeah, I mean, taking off, doing some great shows, doing some great tours. I think they did a tour right after the Ghost one. So he's really big into Spirit Boxing, and we're doing our thing like idiots, and apparently we're the only ones doing our thing like an idiot. And I didn't realize it until like, oh, we're the only ones doing it like an idiot. And so
Damn.
yeah, it was depressing in
That's
a
a
way. But then
yeah. What a
it was like
ball breaker.
it was. So like Mastodon came on, and Mastodon's set was flaccid. It was just, I was depressed. Not depressed, but I was just shocked that that's what they brought. And we were hoping to hear Blood and Thunder at the end just so we could
Yes.
lose our mind.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen.
Oh.
So like we're like, what? Oh, he like, so that's the exact he's like, oh, all right. Right when Ghost starts, we're just gonna lose it. I was like, all right, man, let's do it.
Yeah.
And so yeah, then we got kicked out. So you can't watch at a Ghost concert. Heads up.
Damn, I
They'll kick
remember
you
that.
out.
Because
Yeah.
Ghost has been growing on me, man. The more at first when I
They
heard
have.
his vocals, I was like, nah, because I saw
Yeah.
the imagery and I was like, hey, it didn't catch. I didn't catch it at the moment. But over the last two albums, man, I've come to appreciate the writing. The writing,
Yeah.
it's not predictable, and that's what I'm. There's a lot of bands that hard rock and heavy metal that can have predictable writing formulas, but his is a little different, and it's different to the ear, and it catches me, and I just kind of the voice is finally, I dig it. I dig
Starting
it.
to get it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm starting to get it exactly, and
Well,
Little
we have,
Sunshine
you have to think
and
of it.
jams like that off the new one are just
Yeah.
catchy radio hits, and I got to give them props. They're badass.
Well, I mean, you have to think everybody considers them a metal band. But they're a really good rock band. They're a really
Right.
good, like Deep Purple and stuff like that. They're just a very good operatic rock band. It's kind of
Yeah.
like the first time you see King Diamond, right? Okay, you see him just painted up, lit, like all of it, right? And then you hear, ah! You're like, what is this? Like, it kind of throws you off. But at least King Diamond's amazing. That's just
Yes.
I'm gonna drop on that one.
That's
But
right.
like, so yeah, that's how I felt with Ghost. I was like, okay, these guys are gonna look cool. This is gonna be awesome. And then he threw it out. And I was like, let me kind of sit on this for a minute. And I think it's taken me about 3-4 years as well to finally just the first time I saw him was with Opeth and Mastodon when they came down here. And
Yeah.
it was an amazing show, dude. Ghost live is just great. They really are. They're a fantastic live band. You can talk as much shit as you want to, but I mean, you have to see them live. They're really good. And so that's where I kind of got taken off from them. And I bought the CD and I put it in my car on the way home. I was like, this is not the same thing. This is not the same thing I just witnessed. What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And yeah, it took me a minute. And yeah, now it's not. I think you have to kind of disassociate yourself from the press of people saying this is this kind of music and
Yeah.
people saying no, it's this kind of music, and you just kind of have to listen to it yourself and go, this is just good songwriting. And it's really, really powerful, music. It really is.
Yeah.
It's solid music. You like it or you hate it, you can't deny it's good music. It really is.
Absolutely. Very well put. Like it or hate it, but you can't deny it. It's got some great musicianship going on right there.
It does.
Well, let's
It really
talk
does. I
about
mean, they wouldn't have been won Grammys if they weren't. I think they won a
absolutely,
Grammy.
exactly. Even
Something
though
like that,
something
man.
like that, right? You know, I was thinking exactly where you were going to, but you're right, man. Well deserved to those guys. We're thinking
Definitely.
about our love for concerts, and we've talked about so many, a good handful of concerts so far already. Panteros, Sepultura, um, Monster Magnet. I want to know, what was your first concert? What's your favorite concert? And what was the
Mhm.
last concert you checked out, Eric?
Okay. I'm gonna try to think of one that I didn't play in. Okay, so the first concert was Ozzy, uh, Sepultura Type O Negative, and that was, dude, I was in middle school. I don't know how this happened, but my parents dropped me off outside of Johnnyland. This was before it was Texas Sky.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Johnnyland first. And
Uh-huh.
so, dude,
And it was
man,
packed,
I,
dude. Ozzy
it
was
was
fucking packed.
packed.
Yes, it was
It was packed.
badass.
It was so badass, and like you had
Yes.
like one of my favorite things I always tell people are the vendors outside selling shirts.
Yeah.
They were some of the worst and best like bootleg merch you'll ever see in your life, and they're just all there. They're just all there.
Yes.
Everybody's lined up with all these different shirts. Yeah, no, I think I bought a bootleg shirt off that night.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
so that was my first one, and it was the most like how you can't like that's a setting moment like that's a
Big
setting
time.
concert, you know what I mean? It was
Yes.
his No More Tears or No More Tours. It was with Joe
Joe
Holmes, the
Holmes. I got a
guitarist.
pic from him that night. Yes.
Did you?
Yes. Hell
Oh,
yeah.
dude, he played like Randy that night.
He looked
I
like
even
Kurt Cobain, but played like
he
Randy, right?
did. Oh man, yeah, that concert was, I still have the concert ticket somewhere. I think I got it up here. Oh shit, do I still have it?
Badass.
Which one do I have? No, I got my Pantera one.
Yes, hell yeah, hell yeah! I got that one over there too. And you know what? I miss that about concerts, about the tickets. That's part of the souvenir.
Yeah,
If you ran into any of the band members, you flip it over here. Will you sign this real quick? And
that's
see, look at that.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
this is Damage Plan and Hatebreed, and so like
Oh,
I bought a ticket for,
yeah,
or I bought, so they came down and I bought the
yeah.
Damage Plan CD. And he's like, here, I'm going to throw this on you real quick, and throws this wristband. I was like, what's this for? I was like, oh, you get to hang out with the band after. I was like, all right. So I went and
Yeah.
told my buddies, and they all went and bought CDs, even though they owned them. Yeah, we got to hang out with or Damage Plan at Concrete. It was the best, dude. My
For
favorite,
sure. Yeah.
dude, it was rad.
Yes.
My favorite is, man, it's a Pantera one. I'm gonna have to go with the first Pantera I saw because Neurosis was there, and I
Ooh, I remember that.
love Neurosis. That one, that was, I think that was with,
Was it Biohazard?
uh, it was Biohazard.
It
Yes,
was,
because
right?
the next one was Cold Chamber Machine Head, right?
Ooh, yes. Yes, that
Yeah.
was
See,
sick, man. Cold Chamber when they came out and they opened with a
yeah,
Halloween theme song at the beginning, kind of set
that
the mood,
one.
and everything fucking went ape shit when they dropped Loco. Holy fuck.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
when Loco dropped the whole place. So this is Dime's pick from that night, and I was, because I always stood in front, like anytime Panther, I
Yeah.
was like in front of him, and he'd always throw handfuls of picks, and I caught this one, and it's been with me forever. But
That's
that wasn't my favorite
awesome.
one. That would be my favorite just because that moment. But my favorite concert was the Neurosis and Biohazard. We hung out with Biohazard when my buddies worked
Ooh.
at Los Music.
Yeah.
You remember Los Music?
I
Okay,
remember
so
Ray from Los Music.
Ray.
Yes.
So he was Uncle Ray, dude. Like I was, if anybody's watching this and y'all went to Los Music and saw this little albino looking white kid running around, like him, like polishing all the guitars, that was me.
Wow.
Yeah, I was there every day, and so I'd go up
Yeah.
top in the little attic area, do all the cases, started taking lessons and hanging out. Yeah, Los Music was my thing.
Wow.
So Los Music was having a little signing with Biohazard, so it was, first time seeing Pantera. He's like, hey, dude, you got to come down. Pantera won't be here, but Biohazard's here. We're going to have to do a signing. So we hung out. I got tons of Biohazard signatures, and dude, I got packs of stickers still from that event. And
Badass.
my buddies were like, hey, we're skipping school. We're going to go to Craig's Record Factory to go get some stuff signed by Pantera. I was like, I can't go, but, let me know how it goes. And
Yeah.
everybody's like, they come back like, oh, it was amazing. Cause we're all, I think this was when we were at King, maybe we're at the beginning of King High School. And yeah, so we all, at the end of the day, we all packed into our car, into my buddy's car, and headed over there. And it was like our first venture as the dudes. Like, you
Yeah.
know, you're all hanging out because, you know, this is beginning of high school. Like, I think this was 96 when this concert happened. And only one guy had a car.
Yeah.
And so, like, he was the dude. And
Yeah.
so, like, this is the first time, like, you know, we're going to go hang out. You know, we might, you know, snag a couple of beers from some friends and, you know, party
Yes.
in a way, like
Yeah.
with your 4 or 5 beers with your buddies. And so, like, yeah, it was just a memorable moment. And, like, that's what set that right there is just what set the step for everything I wanted to do. Like, I want to hang out with my friends. I want to play music. I want to just, like, be immersed into this whole thing. Like, that Pantera show was, like, my pinnacle moment right there. That was like the top of like, okay, this is exactly how I want to just go for it. And I just took off and ran with it the best I could.
Hell yeah, perfect show. I can definitely see all the influence coming off of all that talent that was there on that stage, and at that
All that
moment,
talent.
you know, all those bands
Yeah.
were fucking peaking right then. And
Yeah, I mean, you had
wow,
Neurosis through Silver and Blood is like
yes,
still one of my most sludge moments, and I base a lot of, you know, early Switch, or not early, but now Switchblade stuff, like
okay,
off that early Neurosis kind of stuff, like that sludge kind of drone kind of metal. You have to be careful because you can't hit like an open chord and let it sit for like an hour and a half if you don't have samples in the background like they do. So like you gotta
right,
have to, like, you know, make it work the
yeah,
best you can. But yeah, and then you had Biohazard, and that was a huge hardcore influence. And then Pantera, like I have to say that concert is really what set me musically, because like it's all what I do with Switchblade and Throat Locust is really that concert. It's
that's
weird. I didn't think about that until now. Thank you. That's nice. I appreciate that.
very
It
cool.
feels good.
And what about the last
Uh,
one?
the last one.
Even if you played it, it's all
Mm,
right. Hell, if it was the
oh, I
last
mean,
one, the last one, it's
it
all
was
right.
Pyrexia. Pyrexia was the last one we played with y'all.
That's right. Oh,
That was a good one.
that was a
That was
good
a
one.
good one.
Yes, man.
Oh.
Pyrexia and you know, myself and my old band back in the '90s was Integrity, and we've done at
Mm.
least 3 shows with Pyrexia, and it always blew me away how these guys came all the way from fucking New York and ended up down here, the very fucking down in Corpus,
Yeah.
and they killed it back in the days of Sermon of Mockery, and
Oh,
these are the
dude.
days that EJs and backdrafts was going on. And we
Mm-hmm.
had these shows called the 666 shows, where 6 bands, $6 starting at 6 o'clock. And Imprecation was on there, Crucifixion was on there, ourselves, Severance, Pyrexia, and sick fucking shows. And to have Pyrexia back in the house again and throwing down fucking just like they did back in the day, sick as fucking as shit. And you
It
guys being
was.
on the bill too, that was a fucking and us being a part of it. Man, it was a very
That's a
fucking
great night.
cool night. Yes.
You know what I mean? It was a good night of like, it was cool to see everybody from just, it was like everybody in the scene from like
Right.
the beginning, not beginning, but like, I mean, Dilla was there. Like it was everybody in our friends from like, I'd say what, like fucking 2002, 2000
For
to
real.
now.
Yeah.
Like it was all of these dudes that we've known, that we've grown up and was just all hanging out at one random show.
Yeah.
It was
Hell
cool.
yeah.
Like it was cool to see like the new kids and like all of us. I
Right.
love it.
Yeah. Love it. Love seeing that, man. I love seeing the new breed coming in. And
Yeah.
it's very inspiring. Very inspiring. I'm glad that they're going hard, because that's what I want Corpus to be known for. One of those cities that
Yeah.
it has just some great music with great talent, and it just really goes out there and puts their best fucking material out there and going
Oh
hard
yeah.
all the time.
I think everybody like, and that's the only thing that hurts me a little bit about Corpus, because every musician here is amazing, but we kind of get skipped out a little bit because we're not Houston or San Antonio. So
Yeah.
it can be hard for some of the talent to get heard. So I'm really happy to see, you know, everybody trying to play out more and trying to reach out more and do different things and like trying to grab what it is, because I don't think I've ever seen one bad band in Corpus. I've seen like, you know what I mean? You've seen like, okay, dudes are starting out.
Right.
Everybody's starting out.
Yes, and
But
there's a
I've
big
never been to
difference.
like,
Everybody starts somewhere and it just
there's a
keeps
big
getting better.
difference.
Yeah.
It just keeps getting better. You know, we've played, because Switchblades we've Switchblade's been playing for about 11, 12 years, dude. We've been playing for a good amount. And, we've done out of state, in state, all that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
we've played with, the same bands once or twice, and you can see like they haven't grown. But in Corpus, everybody has like this hunger and drive and just want. And they don't know what they want. They just want something.
Yeah.
And they just push and push and push and push. And it's just I guess demographic. I guess that's the word I'm thinking of. It's just where we're located. Like, we kind of get skipped. So, like, if you really, really want to push it, you have to get out social media wise in this town. It's the sad nature of it. You can't get around it.
That's right. And you got to, somebody in the band's got to be savvy about it to take care of that part of the business.
Yeah.
Because it keeps you really got to stay, top of mind. And
You do.
stay active, have something getting ready to drop, or have something talking about getting ready to drop, or have something in the process, big shows, new recordings. And you
Yeah.
guys have a really good knack for getting out there and putting, put the legwork in, putting the legwork
Thank you.
in, doing the emails, doing the contacts, and that's what it takes, man. And are you the one responsible
It's work.
for doing a lot of that?
For most of it, yeah. I
Great.
let the guys kind of, where everybody kind of has a role in a way. One of the
Cool.
guys kind of takes care of the merch. One of the guys takes care of the live situation. Another double checks on things. I pretty much do all the online stuff just because I've known a lot of individuals, and
Yeah.
because of Switchblade, I've met, either PR, head of ARs, different things. And so I can talk to these people a little bit easier because I've already had, my leg
Sure.
room into it. Like, if it's a magazine like Decibel or Invisible Oranges or something, I've worked with somebody that has worked with them, so I can kind of get it a little bit easier than the other guys can.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's me just trying to think of new ideas, of new content. I'll hit the guys up. We'll either make a funny meme. We'll I did instead of Ultras of Madness, it's Ultras of Menudo. It's a great shirt, and it makes me hungry every time I look at it. And so just fun stuff. And so you kind of have to post every other day, if not every day, on social media just to get people to notice you. You have to understand, like, there's millions of bands out there. Well, maybe not millions. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of bands out there. Why should people look at you? You know what I mean? Like, even though you write good music, if they don't know who you are, if they don't see something of you or somebody sharing, they won't know your music. It's a blessing that the multimedia age that we live in right now, but it's a curse at the same time. It really is. It's wild.
Yeah, but you've done a good job of, pardon my French, but you've made it your bitch, and you got to make it work for you. Hell yeah.
I do. Yeah. No, you do. Like, I wake up in the morning, I check emails through Throat Locust. I get with either the booking or the PR. I get with them. I'll get with the guys on content. We'll go through our Spotify numbers. We'll go through our Apple numbers. I'll jump on Bandcamp. We'll see what we got on that. In the group chat, we'll take screenshots and show what our ratings are, what we need to do to work on this. I'll go in, and Spotify's got a great thing where you can go in the demographics and see where they're listening and what age group.
Yeah.
And so I can cater more towards those guys. Like, our age group for Throat Locust is 32 to, I think it was 48, and that's all my friends. So I'm doing all Super Nintendo retro stuff, things that as you were a kid that you remember, something that hooks and grabs on you. Not only does the music have to be hook and catch, the visual kind of need to be a hook and a catch nowadays too. It's a game. It's a shitty game, but you got to play it.
Genius.
There's just no other
Eric,
ways
you got
about
a
it.
great marketing head on your shoulder, and a great business. You're very business minded and savvy at there as well. Keep it up, man. I love the grind. I love it, and that's part of what we do here in this in jamming. The best bands, the most successful, have that kind of mentality behind it, man. And so you're awesome, man. Just keep up what you're doing, man. Everything's just gonna keep working out, and before you know it, Hellfest is gonna be happening for you, brother.
I told like the whole thing about one of the things I love about music is getting my friends on cool things. Like I got Chris on a vinyl, so Switchblade has a vinyl, and has the first time he's able to hold this. And
Yeah.
the third practice of Throat Locust, I was like, I want Gil to be on the cover of Revolver. I want me and Alex to be in like in a Guitar World article. I want us
Yeah.
to play Hellfest. Like I want these things for these guys because like it feels good when like people appreciate the things you do. Like, and
Fuck
I just
yeah.
want everybody just to love it and just have fun with it. So I'm like, so there's people that are, there's a recording coming up for Cephalotripsy. It's a vocal thing. I'm like, let me know if y'all need studios and stuff like that. I'll get with Switchblade. Like, I want everybody to have everything that they can and build upon themselves to be happy with everything they do, and especially music wise, because music is just, I don't know, man. Music's lifeblood. Like it's
Yes.
just something that you can't turn off, in my opinion. Like I can't stop music.
Yeah. You can't stop it.
You
It's
know what I
forever,
mean?
man. It's you know,
It's forever.
it's part of us, and being part of the music matrix. You know, we're in it.
Yeah,
We're in it. So
we're in it.
God bless us.
I mean, yeah, dude. Like I didn't know that when I was 10 and I picked up a guitar. I'm like, this is going to be my lifestyle. Everything I do is based on this one object. I will do
Right.
this till the day I die. Like I didn't know that was going to happen. I'm
Yeah.
okay with it though, because at least I'm not like blowing money on random things. I always tell my wife like I could be like a computer geek and like one of those guys that has to have like the brand new computer and PlayStation just all the time. Like
Yeah.
just be happy my hobbies aren't that bad. Granted, guitar hobbies are expensive. I have a VHT Pitbull back there. That's my main amp, and I got it on a great deal. But now they're like stupid expensive. So like I
Oh,
don't even tell her how much that thing was.
right. Yeah. You got a great
Hobbies get a
deal.
little much. They really do.
Yeah.
I did. I really did. It was during COVID, so like he
Yeah.
needed to get rid of it, and I'll take it off your hands.
There you
I
go.
sold an Ingle for it, so I kind of made it work.
Oh shit.
It made it work.
Kind of. All right.
It was cool. Yeah, it was cool, but like the Ingle didn't fit me. Like the Ingle
Okay.
is more of the modern metal, and it was during like this was before Throat Locust, so it was a modern metal amp for Switchblade, and it just didn't work.
I get it.
So I got fortunate with the VHD.
Yay. All right. Well, let me ask you this. Um, I gotta when I'm listening to Death Hymn, I came across the
Hmm?
track, and I believe it's called "Behind the Monolith." And I gotta ask you about.
Yes,
It sounds like almost like Timothy Leary talking on there, talking about exploring the mind. Who is the voice
yes.
that has that little passage right there?
That was actually we had to get the rights for that. That's off of Hellraiser,
No
and
shit.
yeah, that's off of Hellraiser. We had to,
Wow.
yeah, like with who was in your room last night? We had to get signed off by Butthole Surfers on
Yeah.
that too. So they heard it and they signed it off, and we got approved to put it out through Spotify. Yeah, like that's actually
Wow.
it's from a Hellraiser clip. We had to get the rights and make sure everything was fine. And so I'm a huge horror movie fan, whatever you want to call it. And Hellraiser has
Yeah.
always always been one of my favorites, and that one's off of three positive it's three, but it's the doctor scene, and he's cutting into her mind and skull, and I'm watching, I'm like, man, that is just a great trippy just sentence. And we were thinking of patches for that song,
Yeah.
and I thought about that. We pulled it up on the movie, and I fast forward. I checked the guys, like, yeah, that's cool. So I put it in Reaper. I use Guitar Reaper for recording, well, just my personal stuff when I do riffs. And I was able to take like a couple of little things off the background, so you could just hear the voice real well, and you hear like some squirting of the blood and stuff like that. Yeah, yeah. So we
Yes.
had to actually get the rights for that one. That one was a yeah. I'm surprised we got signed off for that. But yeah, anything you have, fun facts if you're listening, anything you have that has those things, if you put it on YouTube or Spotify and it's not approved, that it gets pulled fast,
Just like
fast, fast,
that.
fast. So
Wow,
yeah.
man.
Oh, just like that. We get, I can't post because Switchblade songs have been going out for so long. I'll post some Switchblade songs on YouTube and I get hit with a copyright even though we wrote them. It's
Damn.
weird.
Wow.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, it's online copyright situation. They hear like a second of a song or a second of a thing, and they'll flag it fast and just pop it off.
Just like
So
that. Okay.
yeah, that's the extra movie though. That was Hellraiser. I
All
love
right.
that.
All
I
right.
love that movie.
Got another question for you. What four songs or artists have inspired
Mhm.
or defined your style or your sound and sound?
I would say Black Sabbath for sure. Pantera most definitely. Uh, there's also a lot of stuff that like people wouldn't realize. Like I went through a bluesy period for about 2 years, and so
Really?
I wanted to focus on my lead work, but I wanted to focus on my phrasing. So I got into just a huge blues fix. And so, I mean, I hate saying Stevie Ray Vaughan because everybody says Stevie Ray Vaughan, but he was a big part of me. And then Eddie Van Halen.
And
Eddie Van
Eddie.
Halen for sure. Oh yeah, Eddie Van Halen all day long. Like it, hearing like not just Eruption, but like anything he did was just like an explosion. Like it was just like him throwing his Marshall and guitar at you the whole time, even if it's just like like even if it's just the little dancing riffs.
Yeah.
Like it just was in your face. And so like when I realized Dime like idolized this guy and
Yeah.
really kind of lived off it, it made sense to me when
Right.
when I got into that age of real, I was like, oh, okay, that's why I like Dime too, because he worked a lot off of that stuff. And yeah, I mean those four, and then James Hetfield. I'm going to throw a fifth. I'm sorry, but James Hetfield, because of my rhythm, like I really am happy with my rhythm work, and he really helped my right hand. And it was just like and just sitting and just getting those that gallop, but just down picking, not up picking.
Yeah.
That was because he doesn't up pick; he just down picks. Yeah,
Oh,
James just down picks. So he down picks
yeah.
these triplets. I'm like, how? And so it was just me focusing in that, and I really feel like he helped my right hand a lot.
Oh,
So I'm gonna throw a five in.
pop ahead.
Sorry.
No, that's good. And we always make room for the Metallica guys, man, because they kind of and in many ways they kind of wrote the book on how all of us
Yeah.
kind of fell in line and did our own own version of all of this different genres of metal that we all kind of fell in love with. And pop ahead. Gotta love him.
Dude,
Gotta love him.
like
God
no,
bless him.
like
That
I mean,
riff, man, and holding down the vocals at the same time. It's just he's a monster. Just a freaking incredible
he's
monster.
when Switchblade lost our singer, like he was the real. I'm like, well, if he can do it, then I can figure it
Yeah.
out. Like
Hell
that's
yeah.
like the most asshole thing to say, but it's one of my favorite things to say too. Is like sometimes like
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever have it happen like where you forgot a lyric while you're singing.
Of
Has that
course.
ever
Yeah.
happened?
Of
Okay,
course.
so like you'll just make stuff up once in a while, or you'll just flow it off. Well, I'm listening to Hendrix, right?
Yeah.
Hendrix never really sung all his lyrics right. Everything was just like as he went. When it's like not comparing myself to Hendrix, I'm like, you know what? If the god of guitar, if everybody's idol can just mess up once in a while, I think I'll be okay if I
Right.
mess up once or twice on stage. Because
Yeah.
I used to get real weird. Like, I wanted, our performance to be great. I fucked up this. I shouldn't have done that. Like, I'll never say it to anybody, but like, I'll go home and I'll be pissed off at myself. And so I'm like, give yourself a fucking break, man.
Right.
Sometimes you forget a lyric on stage. It
Yes.
happens.
Give yourself a break. Exactly, man. It's such a journey and learning from our mistakes while we perform. Um, artists like you and myself, whether it's forgetting a lyric or something of that sort, we're our worst critic. And
Oh yeah.
we even when people come, hey, that was kick ass. We're the first one to think in our head, yeah, if you only knew I fucked this one up and this one up, this one up. I'm glad he didn't.
You
I'm glad he didn't catch it.
yeah.
But it happens.
Well, I mean, you want to say like, are you sure about that? Are you lying to
Right.
me? Like, you can tell me the truth. Like, you want to
Yeah.
say that, but you can't. You can't, because then that puts doubt in everybody. Like, you always got to walk off stage like you just blew the place up. Like
Yeah.
you set all the amps on fire. There's thousands of people waiting for you. Like, when you get off stage, don't act like a putz and like, oh man, we could have been better, but we forgot to practice this and that. I'm like, nobody gives a shit. Don't say that.
That's right.
Just go home and hate on yourself by yourself. It's a lot better in the long run.
Hell yeah, and enjoy that moment while you can, because you just
Yeah.
made somebody's night. If they came up and said, "Hey,
Mm-hmm.
you guys jam," hey, they could have. If they really thought you sucked, they could have just not said anything. So if they
Yeah.
made the time, pat yourself on the back. You earned that. You earned that.
You did.
Hell
When
yeah.
people come up to you, when people come up to you, they mean it. Like
Hmm.
they don't come up to you to give you some kind of hollow comment
Yeah.
or compliment. Like
Right.
it's never been like that in not only in Corpus, just in the metal scene in general.
Yeah.
So if somebody comes up to you, like thank them because they really appreciate what you're doing, and it's good to appreciate them for liking what you do because you know how it is. Like
Yeah.
it's a hard business and it's a hard grind at times. And when you play to only because you've done it, everybody else watching this and listening to this has done it. You've played to two people before,
Yeah.
and it's rough. But sometimes, like one guy sitting at a table, but then there's just that one guy in the middle of the room just losing his
Losing
shit,
it.
and it's just losing it. And
And it's
after every song,
worth it.
and it's
Yeah.
worth it. You're like, I love this dude. I was here for this dude, and he buys a shirt. He gives you a high five. He drops his beer outside, and he goes home. Like
Yeah, right.
it's the
Fuck
best.
yeah, that is the best. That is the best. That guy's living in the dream right there. He's like, man, I just got
Yeah,
to go out, check out this band. They're fucking bad. I've never seen them before,
yeah.
but they fucking kicked ass and I had a great time. And that's what I always wanted to go see when I go see great shows, opening acts that
Mm,
I've never seen before. I love being blown away by bands that I never didn't see it coming, and
yeah.
from then on become a big fan, and you got to take those chances. And I'm not a big fan of going to shows where they have 20 bands playing, but if you invest
Yeah.
if you invest that day, you're gonna fucking be surprised on who the fuck's gonna hit that stage. And if it wasn't for a show like that highlighting so many bands, um,
Every Zeros Fest that we've ever been to, you mean?
well, I mean, sometimes we take what we can get. You know what I'm saying? And I'll
Yeah.
jump on that 10 bill or 20 bill
Oh, yeah,
band.
we have
You know what
to.
I mean? Because I want to jam, and
I do too.
I like the other guys that are playing too. And a couple of my friends' bands are in there. Man, I don't want to be sitting back. I want to be in this. I want to jam with these guys
I
too.
know.
Shit.
I've done that. We've done that before. I'm like, one of the dudes can't do it, so I was like, well, I'll just go to the show and I'll hang out. I'm like, man, I want to get on. Like, do you need a backup guitarist for something? Do you just want me to pluck
Yeah.
in the background? Like, I just want to do something. Like, I used to go to there was a band in town called Sun Salutation, and they're
Yes.
a reggae band,
Uh huh.
and they moved out to Austin. So anytime they would come down or they'd have a show and I would show up, they would do an intermission and it'd be me and the guitarist, and we'd just play back and forth. And that's some of the most fun thing ever. Like
Yeah.
you don't have to like set up for a show. You don't have to get ready. You don't have to deal with because sometimes it can be a little nervous or nerve
For
wracking.
sure.
You just go, you know how it is, and
Yeah.
it will, these little guitar jams was just me showing up, hanging out with my buddies, like, hey, play guitar real quick. I'm like, all right, this is perfect. Yes.
Yes.
And play guitar, have fun with your buddies, no stress.
No
Yeah,
stress.
like music's the best thing. Like music is so much fun, especially when you're on stage. And it goes by so fucking fast, dude. It
Yeah.
is wild how fast it goes on stage.
I know, man. Too
You think,
quick, too quick. We're
you
ready
know what
for
I
the
mean?
next fix as soon as we can, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me ask you a couple
Oh
more
man.
questions, man. Who does most of the writing as far as music and lyrics for Switchblade?
Switchblade is pretty much I'll bring a chunk of material. John will throw something down real quick on it. We'll build a skeleton, and then Chris will go back and forth on that. It's usually me bringing a riff or an idea, or just starting with one. Or actually, no, lately it's been John and Chris, and they'll start off with a drum and bass kind of riff, and then I'll jump in the middle of that, and we'll change it up. Lyrics, it's pretty much just me.
Okay.
Personal stuff, life, family. There's a lot of lyrics that have huge meanings. Like "Wet Lungs" is a very important song. There's also off of "Death Hymns Forgotten." Forgotten's is an important song to me, and it's we put a bunch of overlays and vocal drops on it. It just sounds ridiculous. That's my love for Neurosis is on that one. But
Yeah.
yeah, lyric wise, it's pretty much just me. I'll write things, I'll bring it to the guys and make sure they're okay with it, and then we'll throw it down. It's usually, and the lyrics are usually wrote after the fact. It's it's I like to have the whole of the piece first before I kind of write the lyrics down. I know some people
Sure.
will write the lyrics out and they'll write the song to the lyrics. I like to write a whole piece of music and then build the lyrics on that, and just I like to have a beginning and end and just have a start and finish. That's why like Death Hymn starts off with Scorched, and it's a big lift off into everything. And then the last song, it's pretty much, the lyrics are bruised and bloody knuckles, we're here to take over the world in a way.
Yeah.
And so and that's the end of it, it leaves you with that kind of, this is who we are. So that's how I usually write lyrics in a way.
Very well done, and I like the method to your madness right there. Very well
Thank you.
done. Hell yeah, very
Thank you.
thought through. That's the way I like to be. That's the way I like to write my songs too. I like the music. I like to help produce and arrange the music, and then after and while we're going through that, I'm doing a lot of ad-libbing on lyrics and just trying to get some phrasing
Yeah.
things that might stick, and we'll see what sticks to the wall. And
Your phrasing's great. Your phrasing's great. You need to throw that some love on yourself on that. Your vocals are solid fucking shit, dude. Like, and it's great. So like my buddies everybody knows the guys in Dead Horse and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So they come down and they saw yours singing, and Scott saw, dude, I love this too. I was like, dude, you're gonna fucking love Tony. Tony turns like, no, when we play, we try to make sure that he's there, and he's serious, and like, because we know, like, if you're going to be at the show, it's going to be a solid, amazing show, because we're always going to get a great performance, not only from you but from the rest of your band. And so like all the other bands gravitate towards you in a lot of things, because we have a high respect for you and a high respect for the scene. So it's really great to have like these moments of like you telling me I'm a decent singer, because coming for you, that's an amazing thing, because I'm like, I still don't think I'm a decent singer at all.
You're so
At
humble,
all.
Eric. You're so humble, man. But you've got a lot of great talent, and it's raw talent. And the way you deliver and with your passion, that makes your vocals unique. And same thing with your guitar writing, man. Sure, I can hear some different influences, but it's Switchblade Jesus, for instance, right there. And I'm starting to, I've only heard 3 songs so far of the writing in Throat Locust so far. But when the majority of everything you've already put together, in the past 10 years and in the several recordings that you put out, very unique and
Thank you.
Heavy.
I try to be me.
Yeah, man. And you got it, man. You got it. I think I loved your presence right there when you're jamming, man, because you're a perfect example on how I like to encourage other artists. Lose yourself on stage, and you do that. You get into the moment.
Yeah.
You just you fucking start shredding and singing at the same time, and that's the way it's done. That's the way it gets done right. And much props to you, brother. Much props to you, man.
Thank you.
Switchblade Jesus. Go for it.
I have to be careful though, because I'll lean back and I'll roll my eyes at the back of my head, and I'll be playing something. I'm like, oh shit, here it comes up. I forgot I have to sing this next part. Here we go.
You get lost in the moment, right? Like,
I do every time, because like one of my favorite things to do, and I know it's yours too, is to look back and see your buddies jamming. And that's the cool thing about a guitarist, a vocalist. Like, we're not sitting on the kit, we're not doing it, so we can actually look at people. And so like I'll get lost in just hanging out with my buddies on stage, and I'm just like, it's the most stupid thing. I'm like, man, this rules. This is awesome. Oh shit, I gotta sing in about 5 seconds. I gotta go back to the mic. Hold on real quick. And yeah, I get lost in it because it's so much fun. It's just like, I don't know, if y'all, if whoever's watching, listening, whatever, if y'all haven't done this live, if you've never like have your kids play like Chica's Rock, like I love that program. Like, it is to be on stage with your friends, with people like yelling at you, and it's just, I don't know, man. It's you can't, unless you've experienced it, you just can't explain it.
Yeah,
it's the best feeling for me.
It is.
It really is.
Absolutely. We're hooked, hook, line, and sinker.
Oh yeah.
So let me ask you, how did Throat Locust get started?
Well, I mean, for the most part, it's I've always wanted to get a heavy kind of groove death metal band going. It's just something that's always been a passion for me. Just, I've always loved Bolt Thrower and Carcass and Obituary. A lot of those. I mean, that's just the 90s kind of death metal is where I grew up with. I still love Bloodbath and I love all the Swedish stuff and, Decapitated and all that kind of good
Oh
stuff.
shit.
But
Yeah.
like, yeah, I mean, like that's the good shit,
Yeah.
but that's early 2000s good shit. But I grew up like 90s bolt thrower. And so I've always had that feeling in death and, all that kind of stuff. So my buddies, and it's the same dudes that we went to. We packed up in the car and went to Pantera with, and the same dudes we're going to Metallica and Pantera with. He was moving out of town. My buddy Ryan Ewert and Brian Hope. He's like, hey, Ewert's moving out of town. Let's do a party or something. I'm like, shit, what do you want to do? He's like, well, let's go to Iowa and go watch Knotfest. I was like, okay, yeah, we can figure something out. And so
Shit.
because he has a city card, he's like, I can get us flights, but that's about it. I was like, okay, cool, we'll get it all figured out. Sold shit, got money, did whatever we could because, like, my buddy's moving. I don't know when the next time we're going to see him. So
Yeah.
let's just make as much cash as I can, buy tickets, make sure we got hotel and stuff like that. So it was one of those, like, let's just figure life out and we'll do it. So we got it. We got our plane. We got to Iowa, where I'm 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 kind of bad about like getting in places I shouldn't be and like getting backstage or just walking my way. So like we
All
get there and the
right.
line is just long, dude. The line is like a mile long. Remember how it was during Johnnyland in Texas Sky? It would go
Yes.
along the fence and just go. That's how it was.
Yeah.
Well, there was a break in the line. I was all, let's see what happens real quick. So I walked over there and I stood in the line. Nobody said anything. I called the guys. I was like, hey, hurry and get your ass over here. We'll cut in the line. It's the worst thing you can do, but not. I was an asshole, dude. Don't cut lines, people. It's a dick move. I was a dick. But the reasoning is because Knotfest was so big, the opening bands were already starting. People are
Yeah.
waiting in lines. Bands are starting. One of the main reasons I wanted to go there was for a band called Gate Creeper. I
Ooh.
love Gate Creeper.
Yeah.
Gate Creeper has that 90s nostalgic kind of death metal feel. And everybody else, they're for Slipknot, Megadeth, Gojira was
Sure.
there. Faith No More was supposed to be there, but they didn't show up. So like I was bummed about that because I really want to see Faith No
That would
More.
have been
Love,
badass.
love Faith No More. So we're hanging out, we're doing our thing, and Gate Creeper's about to come on. It's like, hey, dudes, let's go watch Gate Creeper. Like, oh, let's get up front, like in a high school, like we're idiots, and let's do it. He's like, hell yeah, let's fucking do this. You want to see Gate Creeper? We're doing this. And so we did our way. We moved our way all the way to the front, and it was
Oh
the same
shit.
spot. Like I'm always in that front right. If you ever want to find me at a show, I'm in that front right,
Front
or
right.
left stage, whatever you want to call it. I'm
Okay.
just that's where I always am. And so like Gate Creeper goes on and they're losing their shit, right? I look over to my left, my buddy Brian, 40 years old, is in the biggest pit I've seen him in my
Oh
life. He's
shit.
running around screaming, laughing, just having a blast, punching
Yeah.
people. People are punching him. My buddy Ewert, I look over him. He's got like the biggest smile. I'm like, man, this is that high school feeling. This is that I miss that kind
Yeah.
of nostalgic. You know what I mean? You're going out with your buddies, being dumbasses, and trying not to get arrested. It was fun
Fucking
back then. You could
priceless.
get away with stuff back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So leaving leaving the show, we had a great night. We're walking around downtown Iowa, and I was like, man, this is what I want to do. Something that can play Knotfest, and that's literally what I said. I was like, I want to start a band that can play this.
Yeah.
And you were so, well, he's like, what are you going to call us? Like, I'm going to call it Throat Locust. He's like, all right, cool. That sounds fucking badass. I was like, yeah, that's what I think too, right?
Yeah.
It's a song from a band called Tad. Tad is a 90s kind
Yeah.
of
Seattle band.
Nirvana kind of band back then. Yeah, and so there's also a guitar pedal called a Throat Locust, which is an HM2, which is usually what death metal guys use. So I've
Oh
always liked that
shit.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it just popped out of my mouth, came to my head. That's what we're going to call it. I came home, I looked it up. Nobody had it. It wasn't in the metal encyclopedia. It wasn't on anything except for there was a cover band that called themselves that, and they were in like Scotland. The last time they played at that time was like 2013. So I was like, okay, they don't give a shit, and they're just a cover band. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
It's our name. Got
Awesome.
home. Yeah, I was lucky. Got home, called up Alex. We started talking about stuff. And then that's when I started just looking for musicians, and I was going to shows. I feel kind of shitty. I was almost like poaching them in a way, but I wasn't, because nobody's left other bands. But I would go to shows and approach a musician, and that's how we got Gil. Is I threw on, because at House of Rock I do Thursday Night Massacre, which is a Thursday night series. Just get local bands, local music, usually local metal.
Yeah.
And so I put on one with Filth Embedded and Lowball, and it was a Switchblade. And I hit him up. I was like, hey, dude, this is what I'm thinking about doing. He's like, yeah, let's fucking do it. I was like, all right, cool. Let me hit up a drummer and we'll find a bassist. I got my buddy Rob from what was his other band's name? Oh my God, he's gonna hate me that I forgot his other band's. Conscientious. Yes, Conscientious, but it's his first band.
Oh, Awaiting Oblivion.
No. Oh, In Between Awaiting Oblivion. Oh wow, I suck, and you're on it.
I'm trying to stay on it.
Axis of Harmony.
Oh,
Axis of Harmony.
Okay.
So that was an instrumental Metallica band. They were great. I was like, dude, he's perfect for what I'm looking for, because it's a thrash influenced death metal. It's not like pure traditional death metal. It needs to have that groove. Yeah. So I got with him, and then man, you knew those bands before I did. That was classic. I love you, dude. And so then I got with Matt Wood, and he did bass on the recording. Oh, and shit. Yeah, and so it was just. Yeah, and so it was great, because like we had the recording set up, and Matt walks in, introduces himself to everybody, and Brian, the engineer, or Brian, everybody knows Brian Garcia from Black Harbor, or Harbor City Sounds.
Yeah,
he was all, do you know these guys? He's like, well, I've never sat down with them. He's like, you never did a practice or anything? He's like, no, Eric just sent me the stuff, and we kind of went back and forth online, and I sent him what I had. He said, that's great, and here I am. He's like, really? I'm like, yeah, dude. Just rip it and go. And so Matt plugged in. He played like twice. He's like, okay, that sounds good. We listened to it, and it was perfect. I was like, damn, dude. Wow. So do you want to play? I asked him, I was like, do you want to do this live? He's like, I would. But he's got a scholarship. I think he just became I don't know if it's a teacher's assistant or something. He's kicking ass in life, and he doesn't need a bunch of heathens dragging him down. So he's like, I just can't commit live. And that's the thing with this band is, we want to do tours, and everybody is on that page. This is a touring band. This is a give all and forget all. Like, you need to be on the road. Well said. And so everybody's, everybody kind of got on the same page, and Matt, like, he pretty much said that that's not something that he can do, and love him to death, but I appreciate it. I'm glad he let me know ahead of time. It really helped, because I mean, he wants to, as far as I know, he always felt like he wanted to do this, but he just can't commit. And if you want to play Hellfest, you got to tour. Yeah. You got to do shitty fucking tours.
Yeah, right.
It's a lot worse than it is now than it was in the 90s or 2000s.
I know what you mean. There's even more competition. There's more bars.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But way to go, Matt. I tell you, Matt's a freaking, he's an all-star, dude. He's an all-star just coming in there and taking care of business like that. But also a stand-up guy, just not dragging you around, not just getting right to the point, saying, you know what, just got a lot on my plate right now, and I can't be that guy for you, and let you know
where, honesty. That's all you need.
And so, who jumped in to take care of Matt's place?
Adrian Cavazos, and everybody knows Adrian. Adrian, he's in Helgrim right now. I love that dude. He is God. Like, he's one of my favorite dudes. I love, and so it's great because like, we all mess with each other, but I mess with Adrian a little bit more than I should. And I'm pretty sure he's like, I know he's on like watching this and like, he's like, you motherfucker. Like, I mess with him a lot. And it's like, it's because like I just love that dude so much. I love interacting with him in conversations and just like, he messes with me, I mess with him. It's just, and it's nice. And it's like, nobody's shitty to each other.
Of course not.
You know what I mean? It's just a fun, time like with everybody in the band. So like I love him to death. He is very self-conscious on his playing. He doesn't think he's there. I don't know why. He's a great musician. He puts the work in, he busts his ass, but I appreciate that because I know he'll never get bored. He'll never have a lull. He just wants to push himself all the time, which is a great thing
Yeah.
because you can be complacent in this game. Like you can be a great musician and just all of a sudden, you're not working on your chops anymore. You're not working on your vocals anymore, and you just kind of flatline out. And I feel like Adrian is just always going to keep getting better and better just because the person he is. He just wants
Yeah.
to be better himself, not as a musician, just as himself too. And I love that dude.
And it just carries over into his craft as well.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. I got
Oh
I,
yeah.
I got to mention something about Adrian real quick because I guess it's already been about a year. It was on New Year's Eve last year,
Hmm.
and I'm a dog lover. I got 3 dogs, and New Year's Eve I lost one of my dogs, and Adrian was the man for me. He was that shoulder I needed when
Yeah.
I had to put my dog down, and it was the last thing I'd ever thought was going to happen, but
Uh,
he saw me get out of my car with my dog. He works over at the veterinarian's hospital that I went to, and didn't even see Adrian. He called me out. And he goes, Tony. Hey, I was like, hey, what's up, man? He goes, what happened to your dog? He took care of my baby as the best he could, and it broke his heart to have to come to tell me that there was nothing they could do to help him, and that he was in a point where the best thing for him was to put him down. And
yeah.
I couldn't even have my wife there with me, but it was one of my weakest moments. But to have my brother Adrian right there, Adrian Cavazos, getting my back, being that shoulder
Dude,
I
yeah.
needed there, and being the consoling for me when I needed somebody. He was
Oh yeah.
there, man, and he just I can't say enough, and I can't tell him express how much I love him until I see him again. Next time I can just hug the shit out of him and just say, man, I love you so much. And every time I see him, I always give him a big hug because he's one of these guys that has been there when I needed it. And a lot of times,
Yeah.
guys, we're very, we're stubborn. We don't need anybody, and we're very independent. And sometimes when we need help, we don't ask for it, and that's
Yeah.
not a good thing to do.
That's
Because
him.
I encourage everybody, if you need help, get it, especially when your friends are trying to offer it. And Adrian was right there, um, just pouring it out, man. Just anything I needed, he was there, and I'll never forget him for that. And I love
Yeah,
you,
that's
Adrian.
him. I mean, like
Yeah,
he will always put you before himself. He'll always put not only you but your family before himself. And
yeah,
it's a very rare quality. Like
yes,
it really is. Like I've been fortunate to meet a bunch of souls and personalities and individuals in this life, and Adrian's one of those ones that is completely different. He's one that definitely shines. He's
absolutely.
great, dude. I'm so fortunate to just be in his circle. Honestly, not only to be as in a band together
Yeah,
as a brotherhood and friendship and all that good stuff, just to be in his circle in general.
right.
He's an amazing dude. I love him to death.
Well, let's not miss out on any other members of the band. Who do we got on drums now, and who's the other guitar player?
So Alex is the other guitar player. He's been a buddy of mine since I can't remember how long.
All
We're good. Okay.
right.
Uh, sorry, my battery's kind of dropping. I'm going to take it off of headphones and just plug this beast in.
Okay,
Let's
let's
see how
go.
this works. Mm-hmm. Ooh, I got way up close. I'm ugly as sin.
No, man, you're cool, man.
Bam! Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah, we're
All right.
good.
So
All right, man. So you said Alex is other
yeah,
old
Alex
friend on
is.
guitars?
So Alex has been a huge buddy of mine for years, and he was actually he actually does the merch for Switchblade, and
Killer.
so he's always been just a person that's musically wise, been pushing and driving, and we've always bounced off ideas for years. And so it was really nice to because he grew up with a bunch of early Swedish death metal, like
Mm,
a lot of Bloodbath. He loves Bloodbath. So and then Megadeth is one of his favorite bands as well. So like he grew
yeah.
up with all that kind of stuff. So when we were talking about getting a couple of projects going, he was the first person I wanted to bring into it, just because we've always had a good brotherhood family kind of thing situation, and he really put a different spin on some of the riffs that I would write. because a lot of
Cool.
mine is very groove oriented. Even though I have a lot of the hardcore, beginnings, he knows what works on the intros or this and that. So he was able to kind of help me
Cool.
break down different things and see it in a better light. And I really, really, I appreciate him for all of that, because I know, even though I wrote the structure of the beginning of the songs, they wouldn't be what they are without him. That's 100%. And drums now, we have Eli. So Eli he used to be in a lot of fucking bands, and I can't remember him because I'm an asshole. And so, and I'm pretty sure everybody else everybody knows Eli, and he owns Red Giant Prints, and he does a lot of the band shirts here in town. And I used to do artwork for him as well. So
Badass.
yeah, yeah, it's just like a cool community of dudes that have just kind of gotten together and somehow formed a death metal band.
Fuck
It's
yeah.
Yeah, it's been great. So Eli took over. Rob was the same way with and Rob's amazing.
Yeah.
And so Rob was the same. He said uh he doesn't think he can do the touring thing, the full on. And he's like, the last show that we played at Black Monk Tavern was his last one. He's like, this is going to be my last show, because I know y'all have a good period before you start up again, and this will give you a time to kind of look for somebody else. It was nice that he gave us that heads up, and it was
Yeah.
very professional of him. And one thing that I really respect that he was able to do, he didn't stop playing with us halfway through a tour like some musicians have.
Right.
People
Yeah.
act weird on the road. They really do. So it was extremely professional and amazing that he could actually, hit me up and like, hey, I love this. This is amazing, but I don't want to hold you guys back. So I'm gonna have to pull away. I was like, all right, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
it sucked because I thought he's an amazing drummer, musician, and friend, but I respect him for that, and I understand, because being being over 25 playing on the road is a very hard fucking thing. Really
Yeah.
is.
And hey, Robert laid down some fucking great drum tracks, man. He took care of
Oh yeah.
business on that demo. It's fucking
Oh
badass.
yeah. Yeah, there's no way the demo would be what it is without him. I know that for a fact, and I've told him that. And we've had a few, PRs and press and reviews say, how great the drumming is.
Yeah.
And so his favorite band is Slipknot. And so when we were
Yeah.
put on that Slipknot playlist, I was like, dude, you're Slipknot approved now. He's like, oh
Fuck
man,
yeah.
I don't know if I'm Slipknot approved. I'm like, yes, you are, dude.
You
Like, you
are,
need to
baby.
just take that
That's
with,
right.
yeah, just enjoy that. You're Slipknot approved, man. He's like, man, that feels good. I was like, good. You
Fuck.
should feel good. You
You
did a great
should.
job.
Yes,
You
man. And it's
should.
not by chance. It's well deserved. When they hear it, they
It
loved
is.
it. They're like, hey, we're putting it on our playlist. Easy as that.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing about Spotify playlists. You can't buy your way on them. You
Yeah.
can't. Like the editorial ones or any of those, you cannot buy your way on a Spotify playlist. So I'm like, these guys listen to our music, they listen to your drumming, they listen to your musicianship, and they approved it.
Yeah.
You are Slipknot approved, dude. He's
Hell
like,
yeah.
that's cool.
Very fucking
It felt
cool.
like you know what I mean? It feels good as a friend and as a budding musician that he
Yeah.
can feel proud of that. And I love that shit. Love
Absolutely.
that shit so
Big
much.
time bragging rights right there. Well,
He should tell everybody.
that's right. He should. And you know what? I hope he is. I really hope he is.
I hope he is. Like I hope anytime he fills out like an application for a job, he writes it on the
That's
bottom.
part of it, right?
Slipknot approved.
Hell
There it
yeah.
is.
Well, who came up with the title Drag Through Glass, dude? That's a badass title.
That was randomness on my thinking.
Really?
So I didn't want to just have demo, because
Okay.
I don't want people to think this was an EP, because it's not an EP. Like the songs were not like hashed out as like a proper album. This was us putting stuff together. enjoying what we liked, and this is just to see if people liked what it was.
Cool.
So it started gaining traction. And when it was going to get dropped on Bandcamp and Spotify, I didn't want to just have Throat Locust demo. So we're going back and forth, and I just
Yeah.
said drag through glass because that's what it makes me feel like. It makes me feel like it's just this abrasive, slow, like just ripping through. And
Yes.
Rob, I love Rob to death. He's all, that doesn't fit the album cover. I'm like, I know, but it sounds cool.
That's right. And
He's like, we might
sometimes you
need to
don't see them
change.
at the same time, so it's all good.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
thought about
So
that
like,
too. When I saw it on Spotify, I said, you know what? It may not match the album cover. All right. Eric, let me hit you up with this next question I got here. I wanted to find out, what are you a collector of? I'm sure you got all kinds of different things going on because you've got a lot of different passions. I've got vinyls, I've got action figures, I've got guitar picks, a lot of memorabilia throughout the years. What do you like to collect?
my recent, so dude, I'm the same way. So I have guitar picks that I've collected over the years. I have bootleg toys. I like bootleg toys. Bootleg toys are one of my favorites. One of my favorite things to do is, I'm not going to tell people how to do it, but I have, man, okay, so there's Star Wars figures. There is I'll just take my phone over to it. I'm gonna go get them. So the thing about old school Star Wars figures is they repurposed a lot of things.
Okay.
And one of the ones that they repurposed a lot of was C3PO.
Ooh,
Okay.
okay.
So the thing is, they repurposed the plastics. So you can get a certain way to do it, and it removes all the plastic, and you get all these different colored ones.
Wow.
And so the plastic is used from all these different molds. And yeah, so my hobby thing right now is the most dorkiest thing in the world, is finding C3POs that I can remove the chrome off of and find different colors. So that's my hunting
Wow.
thing right now. Like,
Okay.
it's cool because like it's not an expensive hobby, but I have way too many of them. And so my main hobby is collecting weird things like that. A lot of bootleg toys, a lot of uh, custom one-offs. But Eli, the drummer, he his wife lives in Vietnam, and he'll go and he'll bring me back bootlegs. Like,
Wow.
my favorite one is a Spider-Man with a machine gun that crawls and he shoots, and it's
What?
Spider-Man.
Wow.
I don't know how. Yeah, I love it to death. So yeah, random toys like that. That's my, like, something that you cannot find at a store that you have to get on
Yeah.
eBay. That should not be on there. That's my thing. That's my collecting right now, and it's fun because like it's like I'll find something new, and I think I found like the Mecca and the gold, and people are like, oh no, we've known about that for years. I'm like, oh okay, what? I don't care anymore. I think it's amazing.
Right.
And then lately, I've also been collecting skulls. My buddy's been helping me get a lot of cool pieces. I have a muntjac, which looks like kind of looks like a dragon, but it's a Chinese water
Yeah.
deer. A black bear skull, and then he helped me get a mountain lion, and I got a
Wow.
mountain lion skull now. So yeah, and you can't really trade them in Texas because of poaching laws. So it was really hard to get him to hook me up with that thing. So I'm very
That's
fortunate.
very
So that's really what I'm
awesome.
collecting now. But honestly, you ask me next year, and it's going to change 1,000%. I'm going to be on Reebok sneakers, and all I'm going to do is collect Reebok
Oh,
sneakers, and
sweet.
that's it. Random shit.
Well, here's another thing. I remember us talking earlier, and you said how big of a horror movie fan you are, dude. And I love horror movies too. They don't, in a way,
Yeah.
they don't really make them like they used to. But there's some
Oh,
great directors that are still have a good thing going on nowadays. So let
mhm.
me let me let me pick at your brain real quick. Give me your top 4 favorite horror movies.
Hellraiser. Um, you can't consider Gremlins a horror movie. But some will.
Gremlins.
I love
Hey
that
man,
movie.
there's some
Uh,
scary scenes in
so
there, especially if you're young.
I
You know.
guess, but like, see, Chud
Oh,
is one of my favorite
Chud,
ones.
cannibalistic
Love Chud.
humanoid underground dweller.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. Um, let's see what else. Some classic good ones. So see, I like the first Halloween.
Oh,
I love the first. I think for me, like the horror movies need to be suspenseful
yeah.
ones, like really good suspenseful type of movies. Uh, Nope was a good one that just came out recently. I don't know if it's really a horror movie,
It was good.
but Jordan Peele's been making some. Yeah, I thought it was good. Jordan Peele's been making some great,
What
great
about
movies
that
lately. But
Us? That one he put out called Us.
Us was
I'm telling
good.
you, that was
Us was
freaky. I
good.
was tripping out.
Us was
God
good.
forbid that would ever happen
Yeah.
to me. That seems like a nightmare come true right there. It's like you coming after you. Oh,
Yeah.
far out.
Yeah.
Far out.
No. I'll throw in Texas Chainsaw Massacre because it's a classic. Because that's something that I always have to
Yes,
watch.
I love the
And
underground look and
then
the way it's put together. It
yeah.
just you can tell it's if you ain't seen a horror movie like that before and it's your first time, you're like, oh shit, and
It's visceral.
awesome.
Yeah, it just tears you apart. Even though even Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 with Matthew McConaughey, even though that was a trash movie, it was still good. I think it was 3. Whatever one he was in, it wasn't that good, but it was still a good
Chainsaw 3
Texas
at 3D,
Chainsaw
I think
Massacre.
it
You
was.
know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Oh hell yeah.
And then I'm gonna throw in a recent one, I guess recent one, but House of a Thousand Corpses. I
Oh,
love that movie.
okay. Yeah, that's cool. Very cool.
It's not really a horror movie, but I like the imagery. Like I
Yeah.
don't really I love his music. I'm not really too much on his movies that much. Rob Zombie's movies are kind of whatever, it's or Sherry Moon movies, whatever his wife is,
Yeah.
her movies. So like I'm not really too much into them, but I really liked House of a Thousand Corpses. I thought it was a fun movie. It was something that kind of lean back into that grindhouse kind of era stuff.
Yeah.
It was it was something different, and I like that because it was something different.
Very cool.
And no, I can't say The Mist. The Mist wasn't a horror movie. That was just a good movie in
It was
general.
cool.
I'm trying to think of ones people aren't going to name off. Like everybody names off the similar things. So I'm trying to throw in some curveballs for you.
Yeah. You know, you mentioned Halloween, and one thing I got to mention about Halloween, I think that you will agree with me, is that it was so freaking well done with the music. That
Yes,
music for Halloween,
the music.
it was just I'm trying to find the right word for it, but it's like it's larger than life. It's immortal. It's what what you hear every Halloween. It's become a part of our culture around the world.
That and Jaws, like
Jaws.
you know what I mean?
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when the music score comes on, like it doesn't even have to be the dun 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 dun. Like a Jaws movie when you're just in the background hearing the score, hearing the music score, and it makes a movie. And I have to Halloween. If it wasn't for that music score, I don't think it would have been as dramatic and scary as it was.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I love horror, but let's go into another segment that I love to do here with all my interviewees, and it's a segment I call Draw the Line. I'm going to find out what you're going to like out of these two subjects, whether it could be a band, maybe it's an artist, but I want to, and I'm going to make it kind of tough, and you may like both of them just as much, but I need to find out which one's your favorite out of the two. All right?
Okay.
Well, let's get you started. And the first two I want to use today is going to be Clutch versus the Melvins. Which two bands, out of those two bands, which one do you favor? Who's your favorite out of the two?
God, you hit me with the hardest things.
I hope
so. Yeah, no, that's a hard one because what you coming off of I love Stoner Witch from Melvins.
Yes.
That album is, you know what I mean? Like that album is just great.
Off of that, man, everything on that.
Yeah, Revolver.
It was kind of like in their prime, right after Houdini when they put that out. It's like, whoa, hard.
Houdini's great. No, Houdini's great, but right after Houdini, they just kept going. So even though that said, I'm gonna go with Clutch because as a band, they've grown and become something different from what they were in the beginning, not in a bad way. Because some bands have grown in a bad way. Like, I'm not saying going soft is a bad way. Like, some bands have been soft and gotten hard and it didn't work for them.
Yeah.
But Clutch, they just kind of gradually grew into this rock and roll outlaw. That's the best thing I can really say Clutch is. It's just rock and roll outlaws.
Yes.
So I'm gonna go with Clutch on that one. That was a hard one. That was a good one.
Good.
Good. That one was good.
Well, let's
That was
see
good.
out of these next two, Corrosion Conformity versus Down.
Damn it, dude.
And I know Pepper's in both of them,
Oh,
but I think that's why they're so kind of similar, because they got that Louisiana kind of sludge thing going on as well. And who do you like out of those two? I know you like them both, but
I'm going with, yeah, you know I like them both, but I'm going with Down because, like, man, I don't know, like when Pantera was big, like you couldn't find music back in the day like you can now. Like people talked about Down, people talked about Superjoint Ritual, but you didn't know about these bands.
They were underground,
and so
cassette
like
traded stuff.
they were that's, I mean, we used to get cassettes from Roadrunners, and that's how I found out from Slipknot and Orange 9mm and all those bands. Static X, I got cassette demos from these guys. And so I think that's what led for me that mystique of Down. Not only the songwriting's great. The last two EPs were okay. They're not as great as the first three albums, but yeah, the songwriting on Down's perfect.
Good stuff.
Now, if we're talking, good stuff. Now, Corrosion, I'm going to throw this for a split one. See if you, and we'll throw one for you. Blind era Corrosion with Carl Engel, or Pepper singing Corrosion?
Ooh, golly.
Yeah,
that's a
right?
hard one, man, because Blind, I can listen to that from front to end, and I love it, dude. When I first saw Dance of the Dead premiere on Headbangers Ball, I was like, oh, fuck, that's a bad jam. And it was such a takeoff from what I had heard, like on Animosity, and that was cool with me. I was like, oh, fuck, I like where they're going. Woody and the guys are fucking kicking ass on this. And I like the vocalist. I thought it was a next progression for him. But then, man, Pepper's got, he's got Albatross. He's got those other bangers that he put out right there that really put Corrosion on the mainstream kind of map, because I got them on the radio. And those songs like right there, like Clean My Wounds, that's another banger right there. I like that one.
Oh, that's a banger.
And that's him singing on that Blind one right there. And I guess
he also, I think he did Something with a Bullet on that album too. Like he did two songs. Pepper did two songs on Blind.
Yes, Vote with the Bullet. Ooh, that's a jam.
Yeah, Vote with the Bullet. Yeah.
Yes.
It's a big jam.
Yes, that's a jam right
And so
there.
like he had two songs on that, and then Carl left and Pepper came, Pepper took over. So
I'm gonna have to go.
Yeah, what you thinking?
You know what? I'm gonna go with Carl. I can't take anything away from Pepper. I think Pepper's got a great voice, but me being as a singer, I like the range that Carl brought. And him being the vocalist on stage, he was able to move around without having a guitar to hold on to. It really brought an extra element of presence to their stage act. But
agreed.
We love Corrosion. We got that.
We love Corrosion.
It's just.
I got you on.
You got me. I'm glad you asked me. You're the first one ever asked me, dude. That's badass. Eric.
Really?
Hell yes. Hell yeah. Well, let's move to the next one. Next one, you being a guitar player, and I've seen you play both of these axes, and you always fucking have some badass pictures I got to throw in. But what's your favorite axe? Either the Flying V or the Mockingbird?
Flying V.
Yeah.
Flying V. I love the birds and stuff like that. But the Flying V, like, dude, it was Hetfield. The first time, like I said, it was Cliff 'Em All. It was like at Hetfield, and then him and Kurt had one.
The Gibsons,
and then like at the time, well, at the time, like, so when I was looking into guitars, I'm over at Los Music, and you couldn't get. I'm a Pantera dude, so you couldn't get Dean guitars at the time. So I'm like, I want something that is just as wild, that is me, and I can, like I said, pretty much put my whole life into this one instrument, and this is going to be my life for the rest of my life. And that was the first time I saw a Jackson Snakeskin V. Oh. And I walked into Lowe's. I'm like, that's what I want. That's what I want. And I got it. Of course, it was way out of my price range. I got an SG, but I got a beautiful SG. and I still have that guitar.
Wow,
So, and
badass.
then, but after that, I was like, I love that thing. But I'm like, I have to have a V. I have to have, one day I'll get a V. And the beginning of Switchblade, Sound Vibes, they had fucking Sound Vibes. I love Sound Vibes. They had a V up there, and it was like 2010 or so, 2011 when I got it. And I looked at the serial number. It's like, it was sitting on the wall since 2007. I was like, God damn, this thing's been up there forever, Robert. He's like, yeah, man, it's been sitting there for a minute. We're kind of glad you got it. I was like,
Yeah.
thanks. I appreciate it. It's like, we'll do a setup on it. I was like, thank you, dude. And so after that, I had my Gibson V, and then I have a 1984 KK Downing hammer.
Oh,
It's one of
badass.
like so many few ones, and then my main one is a brand called Dunnable, and it's a purple one that I play.
Yeah.
And yeah, the V all day long. Like
All day long.
if I'm not without a V, something happened to me.
Oh shit, right? Oh, badass, badass. Okay, let's get back to the bands. How about who's your favorite between the Sword versus Red
Mhm.
Fang?
Oh man, you're gonna make me leave this interview right now. Oh, I'm gonna.
You had me
God,
diving deep into
yeah, I
into
know.
this whole genre right here. So I really
I hope
started
so.
digging into it, and I love it. I love it, and
Uh,
it's a genre that I don't have a
it's a
chance to
fun
enjoy
genre.
as much.
It's an old punk rock blues Sabbath genre. It's fun as hell.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with I would say Sword because they got me back into Sword was one of the main reasons for Switchblade, but Red
Cool.
Fang. If you've ever seen Red Fang live,
Not
if
yet.
you ever have a chance to see Red Fang live, see them. They're amazing band. Like their harmonies are great. They have a great drive. Their sound is good. Yeah, Red Fang is amazing. I love that band so much.
Yeah, Casey Lane was telling me
God, that was
about
a hard
Red
one, man.
Fang.
You just
Yeah, they've been to House of Rock then, huh? Hey,
yeah.
I missed it.
It was it was Red Fang and Valiant Thor. So Red Fang gets they play their set,
Yeah,
and the sound guy goes over. You know the Whataburger is downtown.
yeah.
And so he walks over to the Whataburger downtown like fucking 1 o'clock in the morning, gets jumped, gets put in the hospital,
Oh no.
face busted open, everything. They're posting pictures, and so I hit him up the next day. I was like, "Hey, thank y'all for coming to Corpus." He's like, "Man, I don't know if we'll be back." I was like, "Yeah, you can't be walking around downtown
No
at 1 o'clock.
shit.
Just well." Apparently, he flipped somebody off. Somebody honked at him, and I'm like, "You can't do that in this town.
Oh my.
We're much."
Yeah,
So
man.
yeah, they played to no one. Like nobody was there, but they put it all in it. And I think
Oh
that's
yeah.
why really I'm throwing them over the sword because there was like maybe 4 people in the crowd and they played like it was everybody. They played like they were playing downloads. Like
Yes.
it was solid. They're great. They're real
I
great.
regret missing the
I
show.
appreciate that of
I
them.
feel like a piece of shit for missing a show like that with such great talent. Because after hearing them, going through the music today, I was like, shit, these guys are fucking bad. And then I remember
But
Casey giving them big props as well.
that's the thing about this music though, and that's the thing with like Switchblade. It's a very obscure kind of genre. You're not going to have a lot of people talk about the Sword and Red Fang. Like even though the Sword is kind of big, they toured with Metallica.
Yeah.
You're not going to have a huge genre of people looking for them. Like it's always going to be like, you're going to have more people in this town for Upon the Burning Body than you will have the Sword, which
In
is great and
Corpus,
it's fine, but
absolutely. Yeah.
that's just
Yeah.
Corpus. That's just Corpus. So don't feel bad that you missed them because they like nobody knew who Red Fang was at that time, and it blew the doors open. Like it was
Yeah.
wild. That was a wild night. That was a
Fuck.
good night though.
Yeah. Damn it. Don't want to miss another one like that. Well, here's the next two
I
bangers
know
right
that.
here. And you mentioned already one of these bands right here because his guitar player is using your pedal. So I'm talking about High on Fire, but this time we're going to
Mm-hmm.
put High on Fire versus Bongzilla.
God damn it!
Yeah.
If you said sleep, I was gonna just hang up and walk away. Bongzilla is amazing. Bongzilla is so amazing. I'm gonna go with High on Fire because it's the blend of thrash metal and doom metal,
For
and
real.
High on Fire just like they feel like it's the next evolution of Motorhead is what I feel High on
Very
Fire is,
well
especially
thought.
like
Yeah.
Death is Communion.
Yes.
Bongzilla though, Bongzilla is a throat destroying, loud, volume breaking every fucking thing impossible.
Yeah.
There's a video of them playing in the middle of Paris, just crowds everywhere, and they couldn't get in the venue, so they just set up on the side of the road and they just started playing, and everybody shows up. It is just this mecca of
Badass.
Even though they're amazing, High on Fire. I'm going High on Fire.
High on Fire it
just
is.
because, well, Matt's a good buddy of mine too. Like we have cell phone. Like we talk to each other because when I was doing the bootlegs, I did a shirt for him when he had a medical situation. So we've always been friends, and he actually owns a couple of my pedals because we just trade back and forth. So I'm gonna go High on Fire too, in case his name gets tagged to this and I don't hear shit from him.
Good choice.
Because he will talk shit.
Hell yeah.
And I love
High on Fire, man. You're right. Just there's that next evolution right there, like a Motorhead, dude. I love that about him. The vocals, man. Yeah. The drumming behind it. I love it. I love what.
Oh, Des, yeah.
They kick ass.
Oh yeah.
So I got two more for you. This first one.
Okay.
They're the biggest bands out there, especially when it comes to metal. So this is going to be a hard one. Who do you favor over, Black Sabbath or Metallica?
Fuck, dude. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna put this back on my charger because we're gonna have a long talk about this one. Hold on. Hit me with Black Sabbath or Metallica.
Man, I tell you, dude, that each one it changes the game. It kind of depends on who you. Dude,
you keep kicking it up. Dude, you keep kicking it up even harder. Every one. Okay. All right. You almost want to say Zakk Wylde because I kind of feel like I want to look like him, right? But see, Black Label Society really got me through. In the beginning of our marriage, it was a weird time of music. I'd say what was 2004, 2005. So you had this weird lull of breaking bands and just these guys that wouldn't want to leave the top.
Yeah.
And I'm getting into all these new bands. I'm trying to get in it. And then the Black Label Society album that was white with the engine on it. I can't remember what it was.
I know which one you're talking about.
That's a fucking great album.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So the songwriting's great. It really hits you. But then you think about Metallica. And you think about how fucking great Metallica is. Okay, everybody listening, take Load and Reload out and put everything. Metallica is amazing. Now, look at Load and Reload as a different band. It's amazing. Load and Reload are actually good albums. Yes. I don't give a fuck who says anything about it. They're good albums. Just take them out of that Diamond Head, Venom, Slayer, Exodus camp for a second and just understand the songwriting.
Yeah, I get it.
So, with that, I'm saying Metallica just because, one, it's fucking Metallica. Two, it's fucking Metallica. Probably three, because it's fucking Metallica.
That's enough said right there, man. Hell yeah. Well, let's keep it on the Metallica tip. And this last one's going to be the last one for Draw the Line. And where I say by keeping it on the Metallica tip, I want you to tell me who's your favorite between Papa Hetfield or Dave Mustaine? I know you said you love Megadeth, and I know we've been talking about Metallica, but you got two of the big dogs right there, and maybe Metallica wouldn't be where they are if it wasn't for Dave, but it is what it is, and if it wasn't for Metallica making their business choice and letting Dave parting ways with Dave, we wouldn't be blessed with all the great fucking music that we've got with Megadeth. Who do you like out of those two?
Oh yeah,
who's your favorite?
I mean, I'll come to this argument all day long. If it wasn't for Dave Mustaine, we wouldn't have thrash metal.
Yeah.
That's just that's my big argument. He is the one that really kind of, I don't know if he did a lot of cocaine, but everything just sped up a lot more.
And that's what thrash
when he was
like.
playing it.
Yes, man.
That's what it was. And so one of my favorite is the Four Horsemen against Mechanics. I
Oh,
think it's Four Horsemen.
perfect
You know what
example.
I mean?
Yes, bro.
And like they're
Yeah.
yeah, and it's the same song.
Yes.
It really is. And so like Dave Mustaine's songwriting abilities, his vocals, I love his vocals. I don't People hate it. I don't know why they hate it. I love his vocals, but that's just hey, everybody got their own personal opinion.
I love it. Yeah.
God, I'm beating around the bush on this one. I'm beating around the bush big time because I can't decide. Alex is gonna hate me for this one. I'm gonna go with Hetfield.
Hetfield.
I'm going with Hetfield.
Hey.
Yeah, because he's he really made metal a more larger commodity in a way. Like he really brought that to the masses.
Yeah.
And so not only is his songwriting good, but his ethos of a musician and band and trying to just make music huge and everything. There was no this is who I am. I can only write like this. Like Slayer.
Right.
Love Slayer. Slayer will always sounds like Slayer.
Yeah.
Except for I mean the first album, like it was tuned
Good
different, it was
point.
a little bit more punky, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Yeah.
Right.
Slayer's always Slayer. But Metallica and Megadeth's always Megadeth. But Metallica, he's taken some risks.
Yeah.
And they didn't pay off. A lot of them didn't pay off. But the ones that did are just straight bangers because
Huge.
I don't know. Well, I don't know if I would be the same musician if it wasn't for Ride the Lightning.
All right.
I don't think I would.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'll get an argument too about what's the best Metallica album. And as long as it starts with Ride and ends with Lightning, we're okay. Like, we're okay. We're in agreement on that.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't for Ride the Lightning, I don't think I would have that fun passion that I do because like it was the galloping and just the lyrics and like just everything. Call of Cthulhu. I mean, just everything on that album was great.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going with Hetfield just because music has definitely benefited from him. I'm not saying it hasn't from Megadeth, from Dave, but musicianship, like all that, I'm still going with Hetfield, even though Dave writes amazing solos and is a great right hand.
I know exactly what you mean.
I'm going with Hetfield.
I got you, man. They're
You know what I mean?
tough decisions, man, and I'm glad I'm not the one that's having to make those choices. You are tonight. But
Thanks.
Hey,
Appreciate
but
that.
I thought you all.
That was on the cutting block.
The thing with these questions, you can't make a bad choice because both. I always give you heavy hitters, and it's just about. Usually, it ends up being kind of what you grew up on. You know what I mean?
It really is.
Who was the first you got experienced to? Was it Megadeth or was it Metallica? And depending on who you kind of maybe grasped onto first, what might be your favorite. And it kind of just depends on did you go down that Megadeth rabbit hole? Did you when did you catch up to them? Or did you get them on Rafter Rust and Peace, or were you from day one like on Killing Is My Business and Business Is Good?
Oh yes.
And
oh my god. And I remember. Well, I remember having this discussion with a buddy of mine in high school, and somehow I ended up with 2 Justice for All, and he had Rust in Peace when it came out. He's like, I really don't care for it. You want to trade one of your Justice for All for Rust in Peace? I'm like, yeah,
hell yeah,
not a problem, man, not a problem at all. And I had that and the Beavis and Butthead compilation that came out back in 91 or something. And it had 99 Ways to Die. I was like, that's right. After hearing that. Yeah, like Symphony of Destruction. Yeah, I couldn't understand how people didn't. I get you don't like the vocals, but I just don't understand. Like it's everything with Megadeth and Metallica. It's all fucking great.
It's all fucking good.
All great.
Some of the best, metal writers and metal and creators of our music are right there, right there. And I'm very thankful for them because I'm big fans of both of them. I've been blessed to be able to meet both of them as well. Standing outside the Memorial Coliseum after Injustice for All, waiting out there, I got to meet Kirk Hammett and James Hetfield, got their autographs. Super cool guys, taking pictures. I didn't have a camera, but they're taking pictures and autograph anything you had. And then I got to hang out with Dave Mustaine for a brief moment on the Peace Sales But Who's Buying tour. backstage, and
Oh,
yeah, super fucking cool guy, and just I just I got him on my bucket list. Hopefully, maybe I can get them on the podcast eventually. That would be so
yes.
fucking cool,
Fuck
right?
yes.
But Eric,
Fuck yes,
Eric,
dude.
we had a freaking great time. We had a lot to cover here in these last 2 hours. So as a
Yeah.
wrap up, I want to let people know how can, before we get to this part, but what's coming up next for Switchblade Jesus and Throat Locust?
Throw Locust, we have knocking out the new songs. So we got a bunch of new songs that we're working on. We're doing a cover because, why not do a fucking cover? Covers are fun.
Holy shit! Can you
I'm
tell
not
us
gonna
what
tell
it?
anybody what it
Oh,
is
you
just
can't
yet.
tell us.
I'll
Oh
let y'all. I'll
hell!
let y'all find out what it is.
I'm just thinking with
uh,
the old school names you threw on the plate earlier.
oh yeah,
Maybe it'll be something from one of those classic death metal bands.
it's a possibility.
Okay.
It's well, I threw a curveball and I really want to do this, but the guys won't. I want to do Alanis Morissette's "You Gotta Know" just to fuck with
You would
people,
be fucking with
but they
people,
won't
all
want to
right.
do it. Yeah,
Shit.
no, listen to it
Yeah.
and tell me you can make that a fucking metal song. Listen to it and go, wow, Eric's right. I can definitely make this a metal song. If you
Okay.
do, please do it.
All right.
So
Okay. Badass.
yeah. So we got dude, it's great. And so we got a few things that we're knocking out on that. And then Switchblade, we have Throat Locust has we have a couple of festivals here in town. We have South by Southwest coming up. We're doing a little Texas tour. We're gonna do kind of run through that, and that's February, March, and then April we're gonna book up a couple of other things. Switchblade, we actually got two shows coming up this week. We have the Thursday Night Massacre, and then we'll play with I Hate God. But I'm pretty sure this is going to be after that. And then South by as well. And then we're headlining the Maryland Doom Fest this year at June 26th, I think. I gotta check the date. So we gotta drive up to Maryland again and do that one. So that's fun as shit. We did that one right before COVID. And so they have us headlining on a Saturday, random as shit, and I
Holy
love it to death,
shit.
and it
That's
just
gonna be
blows my mind, and
awesome.
I don't understand it. I'm happy with it though.
Yeah, man.
And
Oh,
then
how exciting. Yes.
it's cool. It's fun. And then we have finished the recording, or yeah, the writing for the recording for the new Switchblade album. So hopefully by the end of this year, I'll have two new albums from each band. Well, an album each from each band.
Yes. Oh, tremendous work, man. It's a lot of drive going on right there, and a lot of grind going with you and both bands.
Yeah,
Much power and much success. Best wishes from
thanks,
me
man.
to both your projects. And how about Frost Giant? You said you've got
Oh
a new pedal in the works, getting ready to
yeah.
you can't let the cat out of the bag as far as that one goes yet, though, right?
You can't really it's an overdrive pedal. I can
Okay.
tell that is meant to either you can get real tight with it or you can add low end in case you have like a thinner amp, you want to add more girth to it. That will
Okay.
do it. And it's also got a blend control where you can blend how much of that signal you actually want into your pedal or
Wow.
into your rig.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a nice good tool for that. And so that should be coming out within about 2 months. I'm redesigning three other pedals that I have new boards coming in for and new enclosures coming in. I have the pedal launch with the death metal guitarist. I mean, I can tell you the pedal in a way, maybe I'll be able to find out, but it's
Okay.
a overdrive delay reverb. It's like a lead guitar pedal's dream, just all in one.
Wow.
We have a couple of doom metal pedals coming out. I have a octave fuzz that will be coming out by the end of the year. And then I was going to go to NAM because I usually go to NAM and show the pedals off, but
Yeah.
we didn't do it the last couple of years because of COVID.
Okay.
And this year it's moved to April, which is just a weird time to have a convention in California. And that conflicts with my release schedules for the pedals coming up. So I'm not going to do NAM this year, but I'll do it next year.
Okay.
Funny thing about NAM is I met Kerry King at NAM, and the dude is only like 4 foot tall and mean.
Damn.
He's like a mean, angry gnome.
Oh shit.
He's like that tall, full
Damn.
beard. Love him to death. Dude, he
Wow.
was mean as shit. He like people were trying to get his autograph. He's all looking at him sideways and just kind of like do that and walk off. I was like, you're fucking Kerry King. You can do whatever the fuck you want to, I guess.
Right, you can if you're Kerry. God bless. That's
You know what I
awesome.
mean?
That's awesome,
Yeah,
man. I'm sure when you go
it was
back,
just
you're
cool
probably
to
gonna
see.
run into him or some other big shots out there too.
Oh, I hope so. I'm
Yes.
gonna give him pedals and just bug the shit out of him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make him call the cops on me. I don't care.
That's the way to do
It's
it.
Kerry King. What is he gonna do? He's not in Slayer anymore.
Yeah. Well, before we wrap things up, then tell all my listeners out there how they can keep up with you on social media, whether it's Switchblade, Throat Locust, or Frost Giant Electronics.
I'm usually most active on Instagram. You can find Frostshine Electronics on Instagram. You can find Throat Locust and Switchblade both on Instagram. I will lead into Facebook as well. So most of the posts are roughly about the same. Uh, Online, if you want to check out my pedals, you can go to fuzzworship.com. If you want to find me just personally on Instagram, I'm under El Chalupa Cabra. So you can find me there, and I post toys and random shit. Yeah, I would say that's the best way. Just hit up those, look up one of those things, and you'll see links. I have links to the music, links to the toys, links to the pedals, and all social media ones. You just click the little link above, it drops down. You can click, whatever the heck you want to.
Yeah.
Uh, Find me at House of Rock and Boozers, and we'll have a couple of conversations and talk noise and tone and all stuff like that. I might be doing another pedal demonstration. I did one a couple of years ago at NASA, so I'm going to hit them up. And what usually I do is everybody brings a guitar that they like, and I have all the pedals set up. I have a drummer off to the side, and he'll kind of drum and do like little soft things. People walk up with their guitar, plug it in, hear the pedals, change it around, mess with it. So I might be doing that
Yeah.
again this year. It's pretty fun.
Very cool. I like that. Man, Eric, it's been nothing but great conversation talking with you here tonight, man. I learned so
Same
much
here.
about you, and me and you really have so much in common. We're like kinfolk, and as you know, music uh,
Yeah.
flows through me like it flows through you, and
Yeah,
I
I'm so happy to actually have, like I said in the beginning, conversation with you, because usually like we're in the shows, we're in the mix, and like
yeah,
you have to make sure either nobody's stealing your gear, you have to make sure no,
yeah,
you know where your drummer is because he done disappeared again.
right.
Yeah. So it's nice to actually have a good conversation. It's great. Love you,
Very
dude. That was great. This
Very
was
cool,
fun.
Eric. And until next time, we'll wrap things up for today. So everybody, thanks a lot for listening. Go ahead and say bye to everybody, Eric.
Thank you for hanging out, everybody. I really appreciate y'all checking it out.
And thanks to everybody checking out the Tony Gomez Show. I'll see you at the show.